like watching and watching.
Oh
and
yeah,
watching,
I just absolutely love it for some reason. Midterms, I won't take the next day off, but I'll stay up and try to like figure out what's going on and stuff. Midterms aren't that big. I don't need the day off.
All right. CNN says Biden won Missouri and Mississippi.
Okay, Mississippi's not a shock. Missouri, I knew he was up, but I didn't know how fast they were going to call it. Michigan's the big
Yeah,
one.
there's like basically like 4% in Missouri. They're already calling it for Biden. So
All right.
Michigan is
Too
Biden.
early?
50% in from Michigan. Biden at 53 and
Wow, what's that?
Biden with 53 and Sanders with 41.
Oh, wow.
Mississippi, yeah, it's like nobody yet. North Dakota,
North Dakota's got like 6 people in it.
Idaho, Washington,
Idaho hasn't closed
nothing's
yet.
in yet. Yeah, they're nothing.
Idaho and Washington aren't going to close till 11, so I want to follow Michigan. Michigan's a big one. I want to see that one.
Michigan.
I got no horse in the race, Internet. I want that. Make that known. I'm a registered independent. I got no horse in this race. But I'm very, very fascinated by it.
What was the oh shoot, why am I blanking on this? The state where like they couldn't get when they couldn't get anything out of Iowa?
Yeah.
So you know the networks always have like the magic wall,
Yeah.
where they'll go like county by county.
Yeah.
That's every once in a while they would go to the guy at the magic wall and there'd be nothing on it because there's no returns back yet.
I remember when all
Just
that
the
happened.
saddest guy in the world.
I remember that happened and everyone was like, this is crazy. We should have a call. And I was like, yeah, because like this is just how elections used to be, where you just find out in the newspaper 6 weeks from now what happened.
Yeah.
Because that night, they knew that Lincoln was president. They knew.
Right. Yeah, that was messed up. Iowa, man. Iowa and your damn caucuses.
I'm all for getting rid of caucuses.
I don't see the point of the caucuses
I don't.
anymore.
I've never caucused, though.
I'm sure it's lots of fun, but
People say it's a lot of fun.
yeah. I would assume that's the only thing that keeps that thing going is them just being like, but it's so fun.
Mike, are you having fun?
There's snacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Can anyone hear Mike?
Yes, we hear Mike.
Hello. All right, Mike. Here's the there's Marcus.
Don't look at me.
Hi.
There's Bradley.
Hello.
There's Farnsworth
Oh boy.
and Matt. And
All right.
ignore the man behind the curtain in the back.
I didn't even see a curtain.
No. There's nothing
Sorg?
there.
Ignore
Yes.
the muffled screams in the
Yeah,
back.
ignore the muffled screams. He's still missing.
Sir, are we live?
Hold on a second. Yeah, we're live-ish. Hold
We're
on a
live,
second.
pal.
Hold on a second.
Oh, there we are. We're live. I gotta get in
Let
the
me
chat.
get you. There's all right, Mike. You're live. You're a little sketchy
Marcus.
looking though.
First time caller.
I'm here to
Turn
tell
your radio
you,
down. Turn your radio down. caller.
Tulsi's got 0.6% of the vote in
Dude,
Michigan.
here's the thing. If you told
okay.
me before the race started that Tulsi Gabbard would end up with more delegates than Tom Steyer, I would have told you were a crazy person.
What is happening?
Because she got that one.
American Samoa, man.
Bringing it
Sorg.
home.
Hold
Sorg,
on.
I have figured out a way to deal with coronavirus.
WrestleMania.
You got that?
You're kidnapped. Get back in your cave or whatever.
Hold on. We got a lot going on here. Wait, who's that? That. Hey. All right, Mad Mike. You said what do you got there?
I have figured out a way to deal with coronavirus.
Okay.
This is how I will interact with people from now on.
Okay. That sounds like a good handshake right there.
Yeah, very. I can give a good brother shake with these. So it'll be
A
nice.
good
It'll be
brother
like
shake. Okay.
A good brother shake.
I feels like you can't like. Can you hold up like a single finger?
I sure can, Sorg.
Okay, that was a good test. That was a good test. Good A/B test. All right. I don't know if you saw.
You know what?
We are
If something doesn't work, I just undo it.
like you're right.
Look at this chat room, Sorg. I'm watching it fill up.
I haven't popped in yet. We got a lot of people. We're also dealing. We're coping with the coronavirus as well. So thank you, producer Missy, for hooking this up. Was this producer Missy or the Lost Boy that hooked this up? Missy. It was Missy. It was producer. I didn't know. I don't because everybody showed up with beer. So that's where we're at. All right, what's happening?
Tina wants everyone to remember she lives in Washington State and the coronavirus is not
It's
fucking
not.
funny.
It's not funny.
It's not a joke.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
Mother
Tina,
Dragon
but
wants
still.
y'all to know.
Don't listen to the Awesome Cast.
I work with a patient population that's super susceptible to like coronavirus and stuff like that. So
High
it literally,
risk group.
it's a very high risk. Like I deal with people with like pulmonary issues. So like them getting it would not be good. So I'm like very, very nervous that like I'm gonna be dumb and get it, and then
Right.
I do too. It's just I don't work in the medical community.
Well, that was I just traveled to Florida, so it was a little bit of concern. But the plane was the cleanest it's ever been because everybody was wiping down around me.
Yeah.
So can you grab the bag out of the foreground there, Matt?
Apparently now, like they spray down the inside of the plane now.
Yeah, there's
And, like as
They're doing all
as
this stuff
opposed
they
to
could-
before when
Yeah.
they just let everybody like puke and pee and do whatever else they wanted
Yeah,
on the plane
yeah,
and
yeah,
never
yeah.
even wiped it down.
What the hell plane have you been on?
Have you ever been on Spirit Air?
Spirit Airlines.
Spirit, Southwest? I mean,
What the
that
hell
sounds
kind of
familiar.
clean plane were you flying on there, Farnsworth?
yeah, I'm sorry. We're not first class Farnsworth over
Clean
here.
air.
Jeez.
Farnsworth only flies Emirates.
Oh, did you get? Did you get
Him and Jen Aniston just walking around the cabin.
High fiving. I like,
Like
to get
they
one
don't
of
have a
those
care
eggs
in the
that I'm
world.
allowed to sleep
I like how
in.
you're so familiar with Jen Aniston.
Oh yeah, no, we're on a first name basis.
I mean, so you guys are friends?
No, that show was terrible.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hey,
No, I
Sorgi,
mean-
what?
That was a good joke.
What's that, Matt?
That was my applause.
Also, my wife sent a message with me for me to tell you.
Hmm.
She wants me to remind you that the coronavirus may already be inside.
Yeah, she get, that actually helped me, and that rang through my head as I was walking around public spaces
By the way,
and sitting in a
The
dense
symptoms-
crowd at NXT on
The
Wednesday.
symptoms are not. All
Yeah.
those sweaty, smelly wrestling fans.
Yeah,
and
sweaty,
you,
smelly
and
wrestling
you're just
fans.
sitting there wondering.
I was sitting
the odds
beside.
are not with
I
you.
was sitting beside Florida Man all weekend.
Sorg, I was literally watching you contract the coronavirus.
Yes, exactly.
I started playing Days Gone, the PS4 game.
Yeah, I saw your message about it. I'm not aware of it.
So the funny thing about it is like it's one of those like zombie apocalypse games, but it's set in the Pacific Northwest. So it definitely feels like right now like
You're like, this is too real?
this could be it. This could be it.
Is that with the Daryl from Walking Dead or Norman Reedus?
Who? No, that's
No, that's
Death Stranding.
yeah.
What's Days Going By?
Oh my God, there are a lot of people
It's
out
from
there.
like a year ago.
I just saw
You're
Matt,
like in a motorcycle
Matt
gang?
Conard in the chat room, Sorg.
Whoa.
I'll tell you later.
Oh no.
Conrad always watches if I'm on because he waits for me to say something dumb. And
You ready for it?
Then it can
This
be
is, this is a good day for saying something dumb. A lot of dumb has been said on Facebook today. So,
Oh, really? What was the dumbest thing you saw on Facebook today?
what was the dumbest thing?
Because I've been cleaning up my timeline lately, so I don't even get
Well,
any updates
listen, man,
anymore.
wrestling Facebook is wild. Okay.
And Sorg, just
I
think
mean, it's
about
like
it.
that
We're all
every
going to
day.
be working from home soon. It's going to get even crazier.
That's right.
Here's the one thing that's making me real mad about that garbage, where people are like, where companies are like, well, because of the coronavirus, like you can work from home, and you're like, so I could work from home, and you've just been not letting me all this time.
Yeah. There was
How do wrestlers work a pro wrestling match from home?
I don't know,
They
but I'm
just call
pretty
it a
sure.
custom-
I mean, I've seen Ronnie
Tell me how
Starks
the
phone
booker
it in,
works
but
for
I don't
it.
know what
That's what I
that's what they're
know.
talking about.
Customs maybe.
Yeah, trust me, I'm already thinking about what happens if this has to be a thing.
Tina, don't even remind me. I don't even want to talk about New Japan Cup being canceled.
Yeah, that's
Damn
a-
it! Now I'll never know if Taichi was going to beat Tanahashi in the first round. Sorg.
Matt,
Never know.
Matt,
What?
he wasn't going to.
You don't know that.
I do know that.
No, you don't know shit about New Japan. Anyone else here want to talk about
Excuse
Japanese
me, I know
wrestling?
about the
I
funky
think
weapon
you
and
would.
Tanahashi. Thank
That's
you
the
very
kind
much.
of screwball booking that they do in the Cup that you're like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming.
See?
Mm-hmm.
See?
And then he doesn't win anything else. And
No,
you're like,
of
how the
course
hell
not.
did he beat
Why did
the
that
ace?
Yeah. Thanks, Farnsworth.
Do what I can.
I don't watch wrestling much anymore.
Oh yeah.
I don't blame you.
It's a good time for you to be on.
I mean, we'll get into it, but I haven't watched any mainstream. Are we doing the show? I don't know. I haven't watched any mainstream product in months. I just don't have time.
I don't watch as much wrestling as everyone else expects me to. I don't. I hardly.
We see you at all the
Wednesdays.
wrestling you
Yeah.
watch.
You
so-
see me there, but
Yeah.
it's like what
You're very
most-
visual.
Most Wednesday nights, I'm not really watching much wrestling.
By the way, I did the chair being stolen. We do have that.
yes.
Yes, Scarlett. I finished both shows today. RWA and Ryse. We have not done gifts or anything, and I have some other work I need to do. So hopefully by the end of the week.
Wednesday nights, I've actually taken to watching The Masked Singer.
The Masked
and,
Singer.
Lego,
Yeah.
and Lego Masters.
Yeah, those. My wife and I watch both those shows,
Hear
and they're
good things about
amazing.
Lego Mixers.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
Lego Masters is a great show.
Yeah, did you watch Making It?
No.
So Making It was Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman, and it was like a crafting show, and it kind of has like the similar vibes to, except like way nicer. Like not a lot of drama, not a lot of people hate each other, that type of stuff. And I really enjoyed it. And that like Lego Masters feels in that same way of like it's really cool, but like at the same time it's not like people are like, this guy sucks. Why is he here? I'm the best Lego Master. It's like it definitely like has a cool feel.
Yeah, like they actually feel bad for each other when
Yeah.
they try to transfer a 15-story tall Lego tower and it breaks.
Yeah. That was an awesome show.
Like when they bring the kids on Food Network and they have to be
Yeah.
nice.
Did you ever watch
Oh,
did you ever-
don't even get me started. MasterChef Junior is the greatest television program of all time.
Did you ever watch the
That's not even a joke.
The British Baking Show? Great British Baking Show or whatever.
I have
Great
not. I
Baking
can't get
Br-
into
British
baking shows.
cook-off.
It's very similar to that too, where it's like
That's a
very,
very
very like
chill-
relaxed and very like the prize money isn't a big deal, like type of feel.
We had did I ever tell you about so when we are still doing the current podcast and then probably December, we had somebody on from the Food Network. It was the holiday baking show that they do, and he's a big Triple H fan. It's what got him into baking and fitness.
Okay.
So,
We
okay.
we introduced some wrestling in the
My-
end.
my wife
Interests
works
seem
on
to
that.
work in opposition to one another.
Yeah,
Sorg.
my wife
What's that?
watches all that.
Baking and fitness seem to go
No,
in
you
opposite
could,
directions.
you could bake some fit stuff.
That's right.
Fit Crunch, Robert
he's
Irvine.
I believe he was the keto chef too.
Yeah,
So
Robert Irvine does some really good stuff.
he's a pastry chef down at the Fairmont downtown.
Awesome.
All right.
I'm sorry. I just always think about I always think back to the Arnold when we were there those 4 years ago, and they were talking about cheat meals in front of everyone, and Triple H mentions French toast, and like the roar came up from the crowd. You could tell none of these people had had French toast in about 6 months, and it was all they wanted. The French toast pops, Sorg. That's what it was.
My goal on every Wrestling Mayhem show is to talk the least amount of wrestling that year.
oh, you need to come here on a week when a Marvel movie
You should come.
comes
You
out.
should come in here on a Monday night. It's usually, well, Mike, what Legos are you up to? Raw? Yeah, it happened. So how about those Legos?
Yeah. I
It's
do have a
Lego. It's
update
Lego,
after I
not
do the
Legos. It's Lego.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's Lego.
Yeah.
Like
The
Kroger.
plural of Lego is Lego.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Kroger.
the plural of Lego is Lego.
You gotta be right on that.
Like Kroger.
Yeah. Don't
Not
wander.
Kroger's.
Don't wander, Matt. Don't wander.
Farnsworth is like reclining over here. You're not yelling at him, telling him to get up on it.
Farnsworth, say hi. maybe get a little closer. Maybe get a little. There you go.
That sounded like the ghost in the darkness. Like it's the voice you hear when you're watching a scary movie and you know something's going to happen, but you can't tell where it's coming from.
And you know what? It's a good week in the chat room when I feel like we could book a really killer indie show just based on who's in there.
I know.
You know.
God, Dan Keys would slaughter everyone in the chat room.
That's right too.
That's not a joke at all.
I'm getting all those people that really wanted to see Chris LaRusso last week.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So
Dad.
this is the leftovers.
Yeah,
It
they're
was
like,
like, oh, we didn't get Chris last week, so
They got blue balled from Chris LaRusso. And now they're like, we gotta get in there.
he's got important stuff to do.
That's how I convinced Jen to come here last week.
Well, because Chris was,
I said LaRusso will be there. She's like, great.
and then I changed the event. And she didn't show up.
She wasn't.
Matt,
But she was still here.
I have a serious question for you.
What's that?
After the events of last week, are you still married?
Yeah. Dude, we've done way worse than that to each other. Are you kidding me?
concerned. I was concerned between Jen's really not wanting to host Mayhem Mania and you keeping the kids up way too late.
Oh my
I
god.
was very concerned.
There was a lot.
Yeah, I tell you
I
what.
was very concerned.
Yeah, Mason was my 10-year-old. He was messed up the next day. He just looked like one of those days where he's so tired, he's just spontaneously crying over anything. Mason, have some cereal for breakfast. Cereal? Are you freaking kidding me?
Well,
was him all
that's
day.
Chad's fault.
That is Chad's. That is Chad. And then the next day, he's like, I don't like Chad the Shad. And then the day after that, he wakes up, he comes in, he goes, Dad, yeah, I don't like Chad the Shad. And then the day after that, Dad, did I ever tell you that I don't like Chad the Shad. Yes, son, you mentioned that. Message received. Even Chad the Shad knows that he doesn't like Chad the Shad now. He's a mean man, that Chad the Shad, isn't he?
You're a mean one.
Biden just won Michigan. I saw in the chat room.
Oh,
That's big.
man.
That's big, man. That's
Man,
it.
this
Oh,
I think that's it.
the sword
Wow.
is over. Poor Bernie.
I don't think he can catch up. It's gonna be tough.
No, I don't think. I just hope whoever wants Bernie doesn't vote for him anyway.
yeah.
Are you
I'm
happy
very
now?
concerned about
We were having so much fun, and now look at this. Look at this mess.
Yeah, look at
It was so much fun there.
Let's just start talking
For
about
a little
shitty
bit, it wasn't quite as much fun as when there were like 20 Republicans running 4 years ago, but it was pretty fun. Now there's no fun.
It wasn't
No one's
fun
having
because
any
look
fun.
At what that got us.
No, but we didn't know we were going to get that back then. It was just
Oh, we
kind
knew.
of funny back. No, we didn't. No one knew. No one knew that was going to happen.
I knew.
No one knew that was going to happen because it was all. It was
I called
Trump
it
was
just
up
like
there
I
on
called Ellsworth grabbing
stage,
the briefcase.
and he was making his little comments. We're like, "Isn't this funny? Look at this big orange goofball." Making jokes, running smack. This is so much fun. And then, like 12 months later, holy fuck, he won. Shit. Now what do we do?
I'm convinced he's gonna get coronavirus. I'm convinced he's gonna get coronavirus. This is a man who stared into the sun during the eclipse.
Oh, what is this?
Honestly, I just want someone with coronavirus to just lick his golf clubs.
Oh, he's going to get it. There's no
That's
way.
all I want.
No way he doesn't get it.
Or lick
he's
like the top of
he's
his
the
Big
type
Mac.
of he's the type of person to start like doing stuff out of spite and start like licking things and being like, you can't get it, like out of spite, and then he's gonna get it.
Speaking of people,
Like, did you just say like the other day that like, I was just somewhere and I feel fine, and I was like, Donald, the coronavirus may already be inside you.
Speaking of licking things out of spite, your tag champ licking their belt the other day was kind of questionable.
Hey man, hey man, Gannon Jones Jr. stays wet. That's all I'm saying, man.
Moist.
Oh,
I didn't know you got wet.
on that note,
All right, let's talk about wrestling.
Jesus.
I haven't watched any. What's been going on?
This is the part where we catch Marcus on what's been happening in wrestling.
Yeah, it's okay. It's altered.
It's fine. It's fine.
You know,
Do you remember?
Oh, God.
Do you remember 2009? That's happening again.
Oh, okay, good.
All
It'd
right,
be
all
a
right.
really good night to play Mayhem Mania or WrestleMania.
yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. So like,
Edge attacking MVP. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt.
Hold on. I want to tell him on the show. Let's tell him on the show.
Oh,
Let's tell him on the show.
oh, we haven't started the show.
No.
Spoilers.
How do you start the show?
It's the Wrestling Mayhem Show.
Sorg waits for a moment. We're all quiet for 3 seconds, and then he's like, "Welcome to the
Welcome to the Phantom Zone.
hello,
I'm
bad
gonna
guy."
I'm gonna just start with everybody else on mute because I can do that now, and then I gotta remember to unmute them because there's so many fucking lines. Quiet in the back. You're what?
Start the show.
What time is it?
Not 10 o'clock.
It's time to start the music.
Listen, we've
It's
been
time
doing
to
this for
light the lights.
14 years. Can you tell?
Oh yes, super professional.
All right. It is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, episode 700 and... Fuck, I didn't hit record on this.
False start.
I believe that's what they call a mulligan.
Turn your
Just use
gauntlets
the time
off.
stone and send us back.
I need it.
Caller,
for my
caller,
intro.
Hold on, Mike. Reset us.
Caller, you need to turn your radio down.
Mike, reset us.
What?
Oh, I
I'm
thought you were
sorry.
just wearing them. I'm not...
No, I am wearing them. I'm just waiting for my intro.
Okay. It is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, 705 Tuesdays. We've been talking about professionalized wrestling. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on Twitter in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, PA, with a giant crew here ready to talk wrestling. First of all, let's go around. First, let's go to the quarantined in his madhouse bunker, Mad Mike in Beacon, New York, joining us.
Sorg, I think we have too many people on the show.
Okay.
I'm gonna get rid of half of them.
Oh,
Hold
no.
on. Ow! Oh wait, sorry. Wrong half. Let me bring them back.
Oh. Sound effects and everything.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
See, there we go.
Well, it worked out because we are still missing Ronnie. So,
Oh
there you
no,
go.
that was by design.
That was by design? Okay.
Yeah, he will never come back.
Oh.
Who is missing?
He's like
Nobody's
Black Widow
missing
at the end of
Ronnie.
Endgame.
Bradley's here.
Nobody's missing Ronnie.
Nobody's missing Ronnie?
No, nobody's missing Ronnie.
Not even his like pets or anybody?
Nobody is missing Ronnie.
Man. Gil Bradley is here. How you doing?
Hello, Mr. Sorg.
I understand you were just here.
a couple nights ago.
While I was gone, you were hanging out in my studio.
Yes, watching the Elimination Chamber with Matt and Jennifer and Missy and Riz came by for a while. It was fun.
Ooh, a Riz
nice.
cameo.
A Riz run-in.
A Riz run-in.
It was fun.
He just came in and delivered a Riz KO.
Well, he talked and put us to sleep. If that's.
Oh,
what you
okay. Yeah. That's basically it.
Yeah,
Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Also with us, as advertised, Marcus Mann.
Oh!
Hey!
Who advertised me?
Who advertised you?
That was a mistake.
The Facebook.
That was a
The
mistake.
Facebook advertised you, sir.
That was a mistake.
I missed off camera. Bradley completely got bopped in the head with something.
Where did that come from? Oh,
That's out of nowhere.
That was out of nowhere. Marcus, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I don't know what's going
You're
on.
hanging out
Yeah.
backstage at wrestling shows all over the area.
Oh, yeah. I hang out at shows a lot now. That's apparently my deal.
Yes.
That's apparently what I do now.
Still hanging around a Ryse.
Yeah. You can find me backstage at most shows. Well, legitimately, I just go to wrestling shows and hang out. That's kind of my-
It is. It is. It was like I go to AIW in December. I'm like, hey, Marcus is here.
Yeah, it was at the
Marcus,
Odeon show.
What are you doing in Cleveland?
Trying to get work. Trying to get work, but they're not losing me.
Yeah.
I've been going around to AIW shows. Was at Premiere, doing some stuff for Dombrowski. Sometimes I hang out at IWC. Sometimes I'll go to any KSWA. Usually at Ryse, you'll see me there, but with some sort of headset on,
Yes.
running around, drinking and high-fiving.
There you go. As you do. And we got also, of course, Mainstream Matt is here. Also, you already finished your Corona.
Take that.
Mainstream Matt here to preside over another week and round of Mayhem Mania.
What is that, by the way?
What?
I'll explain it to you later.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes.
Good.
Sorg, we've got a hell of a mess to clean up.
Oh, no.
Last week was an unmitigated disaster.
Oh, no.
My wife screwed it up. Chad the Shad made my kid cry, brah. And I don't know. We've only got like 3 weeks left. I don't know if we can fix this in time. I don't know. Farnsworth.
And also, Farnsworth is here.
Oh, I'm just set dressing.
He just said dressing. Commentator extraordinaire. Did you learn any Spanish at WrestleRex?
See,
Because when I ran into you, you were about to interview the Luchadors, and then
I wasn't.
and then it was like, they don't know Spanish. What are we doing?
No. That actually happened the show before. I was just trying to warn people, so we need to make sure they know what's going on. And it had been a while since I busted out Spanish. Have I told any of you this story? If
No.
you watch the last WrestleRex, so the whole thing was they'd come back and then I was just going to feed them a line and they would go.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to say, gentlemen, how was that? And they come back, amigos, ¿cómo fue eso? My Spanish is not as strong as it used to be, and that was more, what was that? At which point, Templario looks at me and goes, es lucha.
Oh, I'm glad that we're bringing such cultured professional wrestling to this town for you. Oh, fantastic. And you see we have a studio audience amassing in the background here as people are coming by. Oh, and stealing our Corona.
I heard about the Corona.
Yeah, that's what it is. They heard there was beer here on the stream and started stopping by. We're out now. Nobody else comes. I mean, you're invited.
Isn't
but.
there like a usual Badger stash?
No. The Badger stash was here past expiration, and I
Oh.
finally had to throw some of it away.
There's usually a Badger stash somewhere.
I know she's.
That's a different Patreon level.
I mean, unless it's
yeah.
unless she's like literally has like stashed it somewhere within the
Of course,
studio
she's
I'm
a
unaware
pitcher.
of.
Of course she does.
Yeah,
Dude, so like last Ryse show, like Sorg, you've been there.
yeah, I've been around.
So like in the backstage, like I always have like a cooler, like, and I always have drinks and stuff that I have. And one of the rules is like, if you're done and you have nothing else to do for the night or anything like that, if you want to have a drink with me, that's fine. Like I'm very, very lenient about that. But like for some reason I was walking by and I went in to get a drink and I look in there and there's Ziggy, like in my cooler, and she looks up like as I see her, and it's all dark, and she looks like a raccoon, like inside of it. And I'm like, you can have one. She's like, I know, but I feel real awkward right now. Yes, she's like, I feel like I'm like a trash panda in your trash right now. And I was like, no, you can have one. That's fine.
Oh, jeez. The shenanigans, the backstage shenanigans at Ryse are amazing. But anyways, this is the Wrestling Mayhem Show. Please go check out everything at WrestlingMayhemShow.com so you can keep up and when all of this is happening over there. Please subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app or the video versions on YouTube or Facebook. Please hit us up at that email address.
Good times.
Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. Thank you. 412-206-WMS0 is the hotline. Please drop a line in there. Tweet us at Mayhem Show. And please follow the Wrestling Mayhem Show Facebook page and group. The group is really important so you guys can hang out. And we have a lot of great chat throughout the week. A lot of great conversation throughout the week going on over there. And, of course, we are live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook Live, where there's over 20 people in there checking us out right now. So let's give it a shout out. Jennifer Carlins is hanging out, Potter, and the Ryse roster basically as well.
By the way, I want to point out real quick. I want to point out real quick that someone who just jumped in is Pittsburgh's Mad Mike.
It's Pittsburgh's Mad Mike.
Pittsburgh Mad Mike just joined the chat, and hello, Mike. It's very good to see you.
Hold on. If that's true,
Yes.
motherfucker, I got a bone to pick.
Because we do have New York's Mad Mike and the Wrestling Mayhem Show's Mad Mike.
But Pittsburgh's Mad Mike, who I have not seen Mike in probably a couple
I
years.
saw him at the
with Beast Brawl?
the last PWX Fight Society show.
Oh, the last one.
He was
That's
there for that
right.
one, I believe.
I
Yeah.
did not see Mike, but I have not seen Mike in a long time. So, hello, Mike. Good to see you. He was Mike was one of the best guys I worked with. No, not you. You were one of the worst guys I've worked with. No, Mad Mike. Mad Mike is great.
It's going to get
Now
very
I'm
confusing.
confused.
This is why we can never have him on the show, because it's just going to not work.
I
You
can
know,
see-
or
I
I'll
can
be
see the
like,
problem.
Indy Mayhem Show
It's like-
featuring Mad Mike. I'm like, why the fuck are you interviewing one of your own co-hosts? That's really weird.
Into the Mad Microverse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, one more time from the beginning.
Sorg.
I just,
Sorry, this is why we've been podcasting for 14 years.
yes, we're we're hip with the kids.
And Sorg, Ty Cross is begging for attention, and that's the only time I'm going to say his name.
Okay, there you go. Anyways, you can also, there's more things to plug. Thank you to our streaming partners, the 405media.com. They're playing us right next to Trump coverage for some reason every night at midnight. You can also support the show at patreon.com/WrestlingMania. Guys, I believe, I looking at the numbers, I believe we had the biggest Patreon month ever.
Nice.
Ever. Thank you so much for supporting the show. I'm a little less stressed about those server fees this month. And thank you so much, our friends at the Fan of the Show level. Bo Diggity! Woo! Ed Burke, Bobby F. J. Town, Team Hammerfist, and our friends at the Poppy Club level, Bradley Brothers.
Whoa. Okay.
Whoa.
I want to bring up something. I was the person that said,
yes,
I do not want to be in the Poppy Club.
Well, you can go fuck yourself.
Well,
You know what? You don't want to be in the Poppy Club? Donate more.
Or less.
Or less.
This is why I put more money into the Ryse Patreon.
What a heel.
Ryse doesn't do this.
wow. We might have something for you here, Bradley, sooner or later. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned, please. Also at the Poppy Club, Dave Potter, Kyle Turner, Daniel Towery, and Tina Keys. At the Pizza Club level, our friends Doc Remedy and our friends at the WrestlingRevolution.com, who provides all the great graphics for Mayhem Mania. And at the manager $20 level, Occupy Wrestling, Mad Mike at $21, and Farnsworth Investments. And I have an asterisk by this, Farnsworth. What is this about? Wait. Matt, what are you doing? You're making a money sign.
Making it rain, baby.
Okay.
Everything I learned from 90s hip hop.
Okay.
Big bank, take little bank. So
Okay.
let's make me the top donator for the month.
Oh, what is that? What is it? That is an extra 10 spot on top of your 20?
Putting me at the $30 level.
Whoa. I don't know. We don't have a level for that, but you are now a super manager.
He's off the rating system. He's just gone.
I would like to propose that this is the. Could we silence him? He doesn't give as much as I do. I think my term should be. Ultra manager.
Ultra manager.
Ultra manager.
Okay.
So,
all right.
There we go.
All right.
Okay. Now we can bring Mad Mike back.
So can I make a motion? I move that we name
Is this a board meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess
mean, we've got quorum, but there's enough of us here.
God, quorum. Jesus.
Sorgi, I think we should refer to the $30 level as the Farnsworth level.
Okay.
Ooh.
The Farnsworth investment level.
Farnsworth
I like that.
investment level.
I like that. I like that. Thank you, Farnsworth, for contributing to the show.
I move for a no vote in Chancellor, or vote of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum.
You realize that
So
this
this is
ends
how
up
Liberty
destroying
dies.
the spice routes, and all the trade union just goes to hell. What are you doing? We Gungan's gonna die.
Oh my
Hold
God.
on.
I was wondering who
Hold
you were
on.
going to side with there.
Hold on,
Jeez.
Sorg,
What-
I have a comment.
Yes.
So this is how Liberty dies. Thunderous applause.
Oh, jeez.
Look, the prequels are good. You guys can all go fuck yourselves.
Wait, hold on.
Wait.
Informal poll right now. If you could only watch either the prequels or the sequels, not the original trilogy, what do you watch?
Sequels.
Prequel.
Sequels.
Okay.
Prequel.
Sequels. Yeah.
Wait,
Nope,
the Disney
prequels.
sequels?
Yes.
I'm prequels.
Oh, oh, prequels. You got a buddy there.
I'm prequels.
Yeah.
Prequels are significantly better. They have plot.
They do have a goal in those three movies.
Yeah.
They have a goal. There's a common director.
Yeah. And there's also, and one of them isn't just a rehash of one of the other movies.
You mean two of them aren't just
Rehashes of other movies.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, moving on. By the way, Alex Carr says now's a good time to thank. What's happening right now?
Move the
Oh,
table.
he's moving furniture and put his feet up over here. Hold on, I think I got a wide shot of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
wide.
is lounging. I think you can see him. His feet just disappearing behind the monitor. There you go. He's wiggling them. Alex wants to remind us that now's a good time to thank Heel Bradley for supporting OccupyProWrestling.com on Patreon. So there you go.
And
Spread
Ryse,
it around,
and our
man.
Ryse Patreon.
And a Ryse Patreon, of course.
Thanks,
yes,
Bradley
there you go.
Brothers. This is the coronavirus shake.
What do you get with the Ryse Patreon? Like,
Exclusive content.
Yeah.
Newsletters. You get our
Wasn't there priority seating or something?
priority
Yeah.
seating.
all right.
You get. I know this week right before the show, I think like a day or two early, we posted our hype videos beforehand. You got access to those.
Nice.
Exclusive interviews.
Newsletter.
News. Yeah, a lot of.
Oh,
What
come
the
on.
hell is happening? Oh, we're decorating the Farnsworth Investment
Big
Ultra
money.
Manager.
Big money.
Look at that. You gave him a weapon? You gave him a kendo stick?
It's the Wrestling Mayhem show.
Oh, it's going to
He
get
doesn't have a
violent.
scepter. This is his
Oh,
scepter.
boy.
Oh, the scepter is by the way, that is referred to in Mayhem lore as the kabuki stick, by the way.
Kabuki stick.
Yes, it's the kabuki stick.
Okay.
That's and
Who
it
named
is-
that?
Somebody who's not around anymore.
Cool. I know what that means.
Oh no, he just stopped watching wrestling and got a job.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I thought we had. I thought you retconned that.
Stopped
No,
wrestling.
There's only one person that we had to retcon.
Okay.
So yeah.
I've been
He
around for some retcon.
Stopped watching wrestling and got a job, as if we're all just jobless losers.
Hey,
Like
you know
all of
what?
us.
Some people can get a job by watching wrestling.
Yeah. That's what I hear.
Some people can do that.
Not a good one. Not a good one.
Well,
debatable.
I mean, it's an okay
Debatable.
one. It has some fringe benefits or something, right? I mean,
I think if you have to watch enough TNA, you do get brain damage.
yeah, that too. There's
Oh
that
no,
too.
that's absolutely true. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
So can my therapist.
All right. Anyways, professional wrestling. There was something that happened this week, including some stuff in a chamber.
Ooh.
So, and we did
The
not
46 chamber?
No, not that one.
Okay,
No, that.
okay, all right, sorry.
Wow. That's
That got dark.
I don't know what's going on TV.
we did have
The last time I watched wrestling, the one match just had red lights the entire time.
Yeah.
Not much has changed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they weren't red lights, but there were cages, and there were women in the main event.
Cool.
And there was a former MMA person whooping everybody's ass again.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
One Shayna Baszler, of course, tore up the Elimination Chamber. Really seemed like a repeat of the first half of Royal Rumble in this one. But, I mean, for somebody who it's her introduction to the main roster and setting her up for WrestleMania, it was pretty good. As soon as she got in, she just tore through everybody. And we waited 5 minutes for the next people down the line for the last three of the
And
chambers.
I think we learned a lot of Japanese curse words from Asuka.
Oh, did we?
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Wait, what is happening? So
Easy peasy.
Yep, exactly.
there was this. I remember back when we used to talk about Lucha Underground. I think we stated that WWE will never just let somebody speak in Spanish on their show.
They still don't.
But they kind of are more, but we are getting 3-minute promos entirely in yelling Japanese.
Oh, that was
Yes.
great.
That was I dozed off a little bit as I didn't make the wrap up last night because I'd been up for a couple states, and I woke up to just Japanese yelling, and I thought I was still having a nightmare.
That might be my favorite. The one from last night might be my favorite promo I've
There was a
ever
lot of gesturing. There was a lot
and
of
then every now and then, just a little English, just a little, to make you think, "Oh, I clearly didn't understand any of that."
You get the point across.
How is your arm? It's okay. It's okay. I've had this argument for years of whether or not, early on in his career, Eddie Guerrero was good at promos, or he would just get regular confused and start speaking in Spanish. Because you would watch Eddie, and he would go into something, and then all of a sudden just go right into Spanish, and then come back out with a good line, and it was like, did he just lose his train of thought and just go Spanish?
He would usually say the same line in Spanish and then say it in English.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like that was a good
Conan
promo.
did that too.
Yeah, I don't think Conan was a good promo. Well, Conan was a
No,
good
he
catchphrase.
wasn't.
Conan was a good catchphrase.
Conan was Conan was.
I had to explain to my wife because she didn't understand 90s wrestling catchphases at all, because she doesn't watch wrestling. She's kind of barely
we got a big dose of them. I noticed Saturday night. A lot of Razor Ramon happening.
So I was telling her, and it was no, if you didn't say your catchphrase, people were actively fucking pissed. You needed to hear all the catchphrases, and she's like, well, what are catchphrases now? And I'm like, not really. There's
Get these hands.
one or two maybe. There's not a whole lot, but literally everyone had a catchphrase, and they had to say it, and you had to do the promo. There were so many promos,
And the whole crowd would say it. I mean, the closest thing, don't you have, is Paul Heyman,
Yeah,
saying the defending, reigning, the whole Brock Lesnar.
There are a couple catchphrases.
yeah, but it's not as heavy as it was.
The New Day has about 4
Yeah.
or so.
It's not as heavy as it was in 1997.
It's not like that catchphrase that wraps it up too. I'm gonna take it
Yeah,
home.
97 had a whole preamble and then a whole catchphrase end, and it was and everyone had one. Up and down the card, Val Venus had one. Literally everyone was having.
Hey,
one.
yo,
he
Bato,
has a
let
new
me speak
catchphrase
on
now.
this.
It's not
Somos unos vatos locos.
How did you know Val
he
Venus
interviews,
was in
he
my
interviews
head?
a couple of luchadors for 3 minutes, and now he thinks
Val's catchphrase is the same as it was back then, only the word ladies is in quotes.
Oh. Yeah.
He's a terrible person.
So I mean, I don't know if this counts as
by the way, I got into my first argument with Val Venus online.
What?
Like your
You and
first
everybody
argument
else.
ever?
Whoa, we need to hear this one.
Okay,
We need to
okay.
hear
Have,
this.
have you guys not got into an argument with Val Venus
I haven't
online?
tried to.
Uh,
And I also just book you guys to defend intergender wrestling.
no, it wasn't about that. I got into it with about taxation because he believes
Oh yeah.
that all taxation is theft and it's illegal.
Yeah.
And I got into it not into it, but I was like, well, like George Washington definitely disagrees with you, and then
Who do you ever beat though?
and then posted a link to the Whiskey
British?
Rebellion. And was like, and he was like, he just got into it with me. It was all one of Danny Cage's posts, and I think that was the problem, because Danny Cage and Val Venus get into it like every day. Wow, like actively.
And you just kind of got into the crossfire.
yeah.
So, like I wondered, like, what's this
Val
conversation?
Venus's like internet presence is kind of wild because he's like super pro pot, but also like super pro Trump. And it's a real weird line he's walking.
Yeah.
But like
I
he will
believe
actively
we
get in
call
arguments
that-
with everyone.
I believe we call that kid rocking.
It's being an American badass is what it's called.
No, kid rocking up and down your block with the ball. Come on,
He
nothing?
is.
All right.
Yeah, so anyway, do yourself a favor, get into an argument with Val Venus.
Everybody has an assignment to get in an argument with Val
He's-
Venus and report back next week.
Very easy to find.
Let's
trust me.
all tweet him right now, and the first one he responds to wins.
It's very easy to get a hold of.
I don't
He
know
has
that would
nothing
be
going
winning.
on. Trust me.
Oh, jeez. I remember I was really confused when he was, I believe, like a 2010, 2011 Legends show, and he came out in, like, MMA shorts.
That makes sense.
And did some motivational speaking afterwards
Cool.
after the main event.
Cool.
Yeah.
Things are going great.
I mean, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I mean. That was 10 years ago.
It's been a long 10 years for everybody.
No, I think he owns like a marijuana dispensary
Oh, yeah, I think
or
so.
something
Yeah,
now. Which, I mean, why wouldn't you give Val Venus one of those? Why wouldn't you
could
sign
think
that over?
I can think of a number of reasons.
he was a chief for a while, so I mean he did hold a management position.
Hey, that didn't work for Elizabeth Warren. It's not. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Bad politics show.
Oh.
Bad politics show.
Happy election season.
Get off the stage.
I can say that I donated money to her campaign.
Oh,
Seriously, I did.
I can say that several of my friends are Elizabeth Warren.
Anyway.
Oh, wait, wrestling.
Yes,
okay.
wrestling.
So, explain to me what happens in an elimination chamber.
Wait.
Well, you know,
You've never seen an elimination chamber?
I saw
Doing
the
them since
I saw the
2002.
I saw the one where Shawn Michaels didn't have his tights finished.
Yeah, okay, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Same thing. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
If you hear
Thing.
the name, you
The
just assume
chamber's
it's
a
a
little
toilet.
bit taller and a little bit safer. That's about more than.
Yeah, there's padding on the sides now
Oh,
instead
good.
of
All right.
instead of just a grate that everybody.
Good. That's
Falls
fine.
on.
People can actually get thrown out of the chamber through the Lexan pods.
All right, do you
Yes.
get eliminated if you do that?
No.
Cool. So what's the point of the chamber?
But lots of metal to get thrown into,
To
and
be
all
fair,
the
it was a very large man. That went.
and all the camera angles are awkward.
I saw, look, I'm definitely playing dumb, but I've watched my fair share of elimination chambers. Actually, the thing about the pods always bother me because it's like this pod and you're stuck in here, and then everyone just flies through them anyway.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, okay, so what's the point of the pods?
Didn't Natalia get thrown through one? Like it's
Yeah.
like okay, yeah, Otis ran through.
But it's
One,
like, what's the
but-
point? It's like you know, like when they have those things where it's like, well, we're gonna have a steel cage match to keep everyone out, and then the guys just climb over the steel cage and get in. You're like, what's the point of the cage then? Well, it's defeating the purpose that you've designed it for, which is to hold people.
Storytelling.
Well, there was also a lot of climbing on the cage. Lindsay Dorado.
fine with that.
I mean, Lindsay Dorado like
And you can
scaled.
stop people from climbing in. Velveteen
Yeah.
Dream did that.
Yeah, I mean, Lindsay Dorado like scaled and like hung from the top
But
and did a flip.
Is it the point of the chamber
Mm-hmm.
to keep people in and the
No, it's
chamber?
also-
I don't think there's any
No, no,
pretense of keeping people in or out of the elimination chamber.
In the
right, bro?
actual pod, you're not allowed to get out till the time expires.
Yeah.
Right.
So the point of the pod is to keep you in there until time expires.
Right.
But if people can just fly through pods, what's the point of the pod?
Well,
Why are they building the pod?
wait. You can throw somebody else through a pod.
Okay.
But if you're in the pod, you're not busting yourself out of the pod.
Yeah.
I think Braun Strowman busted himself out of the pod. didn't
He
he?
can probably bust himself out of the pod, yes. But we had tag matches
But
and
if you're
women's
in the
matches
pod-
this time.
Hold on. If you're in the pod, why would you want to bust out early? Because it's more time for the other people in the match to beat the shit out of each other.
I'm not saying that you would want
Because
to.
otherwise, Asuka could have busted herself out of the pod.
I'm
Yeah,
not saying you would want to. I'm saying they should make the pod stronger then. If the point of it is to
Hey,
keep people
he's
in the
reinforced Lexan.
Yes.
You
yes.
don't get stronger.
By
than
the
that.
way, what the fuck is Lexan?
no one knows. So
I mean, the
that's
glass
what
is
Eric Bischoff told me in 2002.
I mean,
and I believe him.
the glass is strong enough. It just seems to be like held to the sides of the chamber with like duct tape.
Yeah,
Basically.
it's velcroed on
Yeah.
The glass never breaks.
No.
Like,
Although
but
I
it
have
just
to
pops
say-
right out. So
I have to say, the coolest spot of the chamber this year was when Shayna Baszler just kept slamming the door into Natty's sternum.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that looked violent and terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. And it happened to Natty.
I
so.
think that the glass in the chamber is made out of the same thing that they tried to make the ice in Batman Robin. On that was like waving back and forth.
Yeah,
it's probably a very similar
I also
material.
have a big problem with the War Games pod, the shark cage. And I want to explain that. You know, like when they do the War Games, they have the people on the stage.
And they're staying in the
and they're
shark
staying in
cage.
that pod.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because like the heels, they have a referee come over, then they unlock the door and they let one guy out, and it's
Yes.
like those heels could just blow by that referee,
Right.
and they don't.
And you're
it's
not
like,
getting disqualified.
no,
No.
and it's like, why aren't they doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Should make that individual pods.
There's been things like that where somebody would just like double up like in the history of War Games,
so
right?
this is weird because of my position, I always think of the thing of like, especially with heels, of like, how would Shirley Doe take advantage of this and ruin it? Because he'll find a way to go like, well, I would just do this. You go like,
Yeah.
you would just do that.
I mean, he was really inventive in a pull apart situation Saturday where I'm just like, wait a minute, why is he like he's like in the pull apart, but he's instigating the pull apart
Yeah.
to happen during the pull apart and the fans.
Heels should always be doing the dirtiest, nastiest, worst things and breaking every rule possible.
Yeah.
And if they can find a way to get a shortcut and break a rule, they're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so to stand there and be like, well, I'll wait my turn while the referee shuts this door and relocks it is crazy to me for heels. They should just kick that referee right in the face and
Very
roll them right
similar.
out.
Very similarly, we had a no DQ match between AJ Styles and Aleister Black. The OC was at ringside,
Cool.
right?
They should just jump him and beat the snot out
Yeah,
of him.
well, and they did it at the end.
Well,
Oh, why wait?
They did it after like 20 minutes of a great match,
Why
right?
wait? Beat him up.
It would have been better served if AJ had said to Anderson and Gallows, "I don't need you guys in this match."
Sure.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
there's
do
no
my
respect thing happening. There's
Yeah.
more I'm better for you than you, and we're gonna beat you up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
get that, but otherwise, they should just beat him up.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like,
I'm just saddened that Aleister Black didn't sit cross-legged in the middle of the ring and summon the Undertaker, and he just showed up randomly.
With runes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if we have all those fucking candles lit, it better summon the goddamn Undertaker.
The problem is the Undertaker is such a complex demon.
Yeah.
No, like I don't know that anyone truly understands the magic to summon the Undertaker.
I
outside
agree.
outside of Vince McMahon.
Oh,
and
I
his
do. You just have to
checkbook.
say
Remember-
Except for
Don't you remember
Mohammed
when-
bin Salman.
Yeah, I was gonna say outside of a Saudi prince.
3 times into a mirror and he will appear.
Yeah. Mohammed bin Salman, the Saudi prince, knows how to summon the Undertaker.
and Shawn Michaels apparently.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's called a lot of money.
Just to pile on with what Farnsworth just said, it's very hard to summon the Undertaker. I mean, remember like John Cena tried everything for weeks and weeks and weeks. WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The conditions have
Yeah.
to be just right.
Apparently, it involves beating up Elias.
You have to beat up Elias.
Yeah.
And then look, the
It takes one
conditions
Elias,
have
a
to be
frog's
just
ear,
right. Yeah.
2 pigs' noses.
Yeah. Lightning
And-
bolt.
And Braun Strowman's 8-year-old tag partner from WrestleMania.
Yeah, there you go.
What was
Hey,
his? I can't remember his name.
Lord, he was
Nicholas?
10.
Nicholas? Yeah, something like
He was
that.
10.
He was 10? I'm sorry.
He was 10.
And that kid.
And they were never beaten.
No, and that kid
Yeah.
turned out to be Dominic Rey Mysterio's son.
Oh,
It is
I
not
thought it
Dominic.
was
No,
Marco
it's
Stunt.
not.
It is
It
not.
is
thought it
not.
was
If you
Marco
didn't know
Stunt.
that.
Are we
If you didn't
required to
know
have a Dominic joke every 2 weeks? Is that what's happening right now?
that. That's who he is.
I thought it was Marco Stunt.
Hmm.
I was close. Okay.
Since we're talking about the Undertaker, Tina Keys made a very good suggestion. Can we talk about the AJ Styles Undertaker promo last night?
The Michelle McCool.
The one that Marcus didn't see?
Okay.
I did not watch it.
All right. Real quick.
Had I known the Undertaker was going to be on the show.
Well, I mean,
He wasn't.
Here's
he will be in Pittsburgh Monday.
Here's your key talking points for AJ Styles warming up the Undertaker match for WrestleMania. Calls him Mark Calloway in the ring during the promo. Cool.
Did
All
he
right?
say Calloway or
Let's-
Galloway?
I don't know what he said. Close enough. Let's
Are you thinking of- no.
let's out that he's married to.
Go ahead.
Let's out that Undertaker's married to Michelle McCool. Just like puts that out there. Not that,
Yeah.
obviously.
All this
we're
means
very
is that
smart
he
people.
watched the Stone Cold session with.
And then-
and it just means AJ subscribes to the network, really.
All you
and
have to do is literally go to Michelle McCool's Instagram.
And then to cap things off, AJ literally says, and I'm paraphrasing, so I guess it's not what he literally said, but the point is, he said the Undertaker's gonna die in the ring at WrestleMania at his
he
hands.
actually did say that.
Okay, then I did say that.
his
literally
He did
said
say
this.
that.
His point was basically that the Undertaker is killing himself out there, that Michelle McCool is pulling his strings and getting the Undertaker to do anything that he wants, that she wants, and that he was going to die in the ring.
Who's getting the heat here? Michelle McCool?
Yeah.
Really funny.
Who's
Which
gonna
is
book
really
Michelle
funny
McCool
because-
versus AJ Styles for Mayhem Mania?
Don't
There you go.
don't ruin the don't ruin the swerve there where Michelle McCool runs off with AJ now.
It's really funny because if you look
What's
at
Wendy
Karl
gonna
Anderson's
say?
wife on Twitter, Karl Anderson's wife is like, "Oh, you can wrestle another Saudi show. We need another pool."
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the exact same conversation that's happening at
By
the.
the way, my favorite Karl Anderson line ever is someone like tweeted him like, "Hey man, you're just like you're underutilized and they don't appreciate you. You should jump ship and go to AEW."
Yeah.
And Karl Anderson goes, "You know what I really appreciate? The 4-wheelers I just bought." He's like, "Yeah, he's making money. Let him go. Let him go."
Yeah. That's
So AJ was there in the ring, like with his phone, like looking through Undertaker's Wikipedia, and just pointing out, "Oh, I see this. I see this. Oh, there's your wife. See."
What is? I don't get it. I didn't watch it, so I don't want to criticize it because like I hate doing that stuff where it's like hearing it second and third hand and being like, "Well, this is dumb," but like it sounds pretty dumb.
well, I mean,
And
thought it
I'm
was
usually a
good,
pretty decent like defender of WWE, so like I don't know.
I thought it was a good.
AJ has a way of
It was a good
making stuff
segment.
work. I mean, he's gotten to that point, but even then, it's like kind of like getting to the point of like, do we really need? I mean,
Do we remember
Wait,
the
the whole
last
point of this-
angle of AJ Styles and wives and TNA? Like they
Oh,
tried
no.
like 8 different versions of it in TNA, and none of it worked.
Well, and also Samoa Joe and Wendy and
Wendy.
yeah.
Hey, Wendy.
I like what makes me want to watch that match is Undertaker versus AJ Styles. I don't need the callback to the Instagram
no.
to get me excited for
the
it,
whole point of the
you
match
know?
is how good of a match can AJ Styles get out of the Undertaker? It's like it's like some sort of like legend test for AJ. You know, can you get
It's
like
that-
3+ stars?
It's
out
that
of
high-end
Undertaker?
legend Xbox achievement.
Yeah.
So
It's can you wrestle a broomstick that can
Oh.
choke slam you?
yeah.
Can he be the first guy since CM Punk to get like a really great WrestleMania match out of the Undertaker?
Yeah.
Because that's how long it's been.
I wouldn't put CM Punk match up there that highly. I don't even
Did you
think
do that?
Yeah.
I did. I don't remember it.
Oh, okay. Well, I
I've been
guess-
hitting the
I
head
actually,
a lot.
Maybe I'm
I actually
mistaken.
really like the story of Taker and Reigns, but that's just me. Anyway, I think what the problem with the Undertaker is in a wrestling concept is I want to not dance around this, but kind of dance around this in that I think he still wants to be the Undertaker so badly that he's not willing to take that half step back to have a better match. Like I think he still goes like, man, I can do this. I can have that 5-star match when like him trying to have a 5-star match is him having like a 2-star match. But if he just tried to have like a 3-star match, he'd be fine.
Do you think like he?
You know?
Do you think like he doesn't want to have like? Oh, okay, so when Ric Flair was winding down, he had like the story of like Ric Flair, is he washed up? You know, he should retire. He probably will. Like, do you think the Undertaker is like, if you're like an undead wrestling zombie who can't be killed,
No.
you can't really do that story.
Hypothetically.
Or get married, but
If
part of
only
this.
that was
See,
all.
it's
he
canon.
was.
Like, I think the Undertaker would have been able to have better matches if they paired him with younger talent. Like, they keep putting him with the DXs and
Goldberg.
like his
But the
casket match with Rusev was great.
Yeah, well, okay, so
It was great.
Rusev is different, and I think like AJ is a good match for him. I think when we say like younger talent, I think the big issue is they want to move quicker and they got a bigger gas tank, and that is the guy. And the Undertaker's not the type of guy to go like, "Well, I'm not going to keep up." Like he's going to try and push himself too.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
that double-edged sword of like, I'm not saying put him in there with Ricochet, but if you get him in
Oh,
there
yeah,
with
you're
someone who's
right.
young and who can go, and he's going to be like, you know what, I'm going to go too, and it's like, oh yeah, I can't
would
do
love
that.
to see him in
thing
there
is,
with
like,
Ricochet.
You got to be like,
That's the thing. I would love to see him in there with Ricochet.
If
I think
Taker
he-
worked, if Taker stood in the center and did his Taker match, yeah, it'd be good. But if Taker all of a sudden is like, I'm gonna do my dives too, it's like, okay, we gotta have a conversation.
So
Anyway, did we talk about the pay per view?
we kind of did.
Okay, cool.
Mostly.
Yeah.
I mean, we
There
explained.
wasn't
the
that
change.
much that happened on it.
There was enough.
but there was
Daniel
enough.
Bryan, and Drew Gulak.
Oh, let's talk about that for
Yeah.
a second. Holy crap, that was great.
Jesus.
Jeez.
very, very good match.
I did not see it.
If you want a reminder to what wrestling is in WWE that's not on NXT, that was it.
Does anyone have an update on Daniel Bryan's neck?
Well, it was,
Is it a stack of Lego pieces that have been knocked over?
well, I don't know so much about that. And just to bring Marcus up to speed, there was a point during the match where Drew Gulak decided to give Daniel Bryan a really big German suplex, and Daniel Bryan basically landed right on his head.
Cool.
Yeah, and so afterwards they
That's not dangerous for the guy who had
No, I mean,
neck and brain injuries.
the funny part is that
Not
like
he's
after the match,
expecting a kid.
they interview him backstage, and they're like, "How you doing, Daniel?" And he's like, "I feel alive," and I'm like, "No, you don't."
Marcus, the story was that in a couple of matches between Daniel Bryan and some other wrestlers, Drew Gulak was coaching the other wrestlers, saying, "I know all of these holes in Daniel Bryan's game."
yeah.
And
yeah.
he's trying to help these other wrestlers, and the other wrestlers kept losing, so Drew had the match with Bryan. But Drew kept on figuring out Daniel Bryan's moves and figuring out holes in his game right there, and then all these things kept falling apart for Daniel Bryan during the match.
I would watch that.
So that was good.
I would watch it.
It was
Yeah.
good. It was nice, tight. You know, how long was it? Like 15, 12,
Oh, yeah.
15,
Yeah,
something
they
like
had
that.
a good
Nice.
time.
It was good.
Kicked off
Good
the
pace.
show.
It was
And in front of a Philadelphia crowd. So,
I would-
yeah.
Yeah, like there's. Here's the problem with WWE right now, and it has nothing to do with the storylines or the in-ring work, because I still like appreciate all of it.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, it's just so much wrestling. It's just like it's just so much, and I feel like I can take the accelerator off WWE for like a week or two and come back and still be fine.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like, and that I hate to say that, but like you don't miss a whole lot when you miss a week
But I
or
think
two.
that's by design, though.
It is.
It is, because that's the speed of the audience that they're trying to capture.
Yeah.
Because they want to make sure if you were like, I tune into WWE once a month, cool. Are you still going to tune in for WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's their big market, and that's what they're looking for. So like I think
So-
it's easier to do that.
So it's hard for us to be like I keep missing SmackDown just because of life.
Yeah.
Because from it
Fridays
being on
are tough.
Fridays, and now it's like, well, yeah, I wish I could see what Elias did.
Yeah.
But it's okay that I didn't, right?
I DVR Raw every week, and then all of a sudden I'll go in there and I'll have like 4 Raws, and I'll be like, just delete them. You're not gonna
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
this. Like
We were talking
just
about, like,
catch
3
up. You'll
hours a
catch up on the
week.
next
Yeah,
one. You'll
yeah.
catch up on the next one.
Yeah, I gave up last time. I'm like, I'll watch this in the morning. It's fine.
There's so many reviews of these shows. Like I watch What Culture's ups and downs.
Yes.
For every Raw and SmackDown, and that pretty much is like your Cliff's Notes of the show.
Here's my problem with that, because because now you're dependent on that voice, and every review I hear, remember reading about a Raw, or somebody said, "Oh, I read this happened on Raw." Like you have, it's like reading a text message. You're gonna apply the voice that you want to it. Be like, what an asshole when the guy didn't really mean it. I think that happens in these reviews, unless a puppet is telling me a review of a show, which I love.
Oh, by the way, who is Bryan Alverez?
A puppet.
Like I legit don't know who he is.
Really,
He's
He's with
second in command.
AEWs.
he wrestled for a second.
He wrestled Larry Sweeney.
Okay, I know Larry
at
Sweeney.
IWC.
is. Okay,
I remember filming.
I don't
that
remember
match.
that match
Yeah.
particularly, but like, why is this guy important?
He's with.
He's
I mean-
Dave Meltzer's second in command, basically.
Okay, see, I grew up in a Wade Keller household.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm not joking. Like
we all discuss our dirt sheet upbringings now.
yeah, like we had PW Torch. Like I was a Torch kid. Like I was never an Observer kid. Even to this date, like I don't follow Meltzer online or anything because I don't understand the appeal of him. But like I think I grew up on PW Torch.
I think Meltzer's probably the yardstick as far as writing about wrestling, and the biggest issue is that Meltzer knows he's the yardstick
Yeah.
when it comes to writing about wrestling, and it just Meltzer can't get out of the way of being Dave Meltzer. if he could,
Yeah.
he'd be great.
But I've seen a lot of like Bryan Alverez showing up like, and obviously for not good reasons. Like people are like, this guy's crazy, and I like watch some of his stuff, and I'm like, oh, this guy is like he's just trying to be Howard Stern kind of, in that like, oh, if I say this, people will watch.
Yeah.
And it's like, or you'll just
No, that's Brad Shepard.
is that who it is? I don't know who any of these people are because I don't. I also like.
Brad Shepard is so bad that the WWE on Fox official Instagram account said, "Don't listen to this guy."
Oh wait, that's the guy that was putting out the one story, and they were
Yeah.
like, "This is completely false and stupid."
Okay.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I made a commitment, I think in like 2004, 2005, to not reading wrestling rumors or spoilers or dirt sheets, and it was the greatest decision I ever made in my life. Like I stopped reading all of it and just like, okay, I'll just watch the show.
It ruins it. It ruins it.
Yeah,
It really does.
Because like I was really, really bitter about like maybe it was later than that. Yeah, no, it was around then. I got really, really bitter about like the Raw Triple H run where they gave him the belt. And I remember reading all the stuff about Triple H, and I was just so mad about the shows. And I was like, he's like, this show's garbage, and then like I stopped reading it all, and I started like enjoying the shows, and it was like way better.
Hey, that's weird because I don't read anything, and I still hated that time.
By the way, I am dead set, and I love those Ruthless Aggression documentaries. They are some of the best thing that they put out, and I absolutely love them.
No one can say that the WWE doesn't understand how to put out an amazing video.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about that, John. I forgot about it. Apparently, we sat next to Bryan Alverez at Mania in New Orleans.
Yeah, I said hi to him afterwards. It was nice.
I completely forgot about that. Had I known,
Hey, guy
would've
I don't
broke
know.
one.
Hey, I
don't know who he is.
You know what? I was an Observer subscriber for a little while.
Yeah.
I pulled the plug because they were spoiling Lucha Underground for me, and I let Meltzer know about it, and then I canceled on him. But I think I will defend Bryan. I think he's a pretty funny guy. I mean, you got to use your own brain. I mean, so.
Look, he's more important than I'll ever be, and that's whatever. I don't give a crap. But like, his voice is very. I feel like there's a wrestling review voice, and like as you said, like Meltzer can kind of get that way. I feel it's very toxic to fans because then fans start thinking that way.
I hate when fans talk to me about something that happened and they sound like a dirt sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like it's giving agency to the fans to think what they know what's going on behind the scenes when a lot of that is so filtered and probably made up, if not by the person writing it, but
by
whoever's
leaking it.
Yeah, just because it's from a source doesn't mean it's news, or there's so many stories.
And a lot of it is
that
one of those things of like, and I hate to say this, but like the leaked stuff is a lot of like, guy X wants a push, so he's saying to Dirt Sheet Writer B, I'm not getting a push, so that gets leaked, and that, you know what I mean? It's like one of those, it's all that.
Unless there's
stuff.
like a tweet from the wrestler saying X, I don't care.
Sorry.
So.
And honestly, like I have a rule. I don't want anyone over 40.
You all right
involved
over
in
there?
wrestling.
Sorry, I'm setting up and trying to get Mike a voice too.
I have a rule that I don't want anyone over 40 involved in televised wrestling. That includes dirt sheets. Because a lot of their views are not very great.
Mike, does that mean you're not going to be a part of this show in 2 years when
Sorg, I might not be.
when one of us turns the corner?
Televised
As a person who
wrestling.
is
I am not
Televised podcasting. I mean,
Sorg, I am not part of
talking
televised
about
wrestling.
televised wrestling.
I think there's.
You're gonna have to start your own podcast because you can't work with me.
I'm 47. Do I have to go home now?
I think there's a value in those voices. I think there's a value in explaining to people, hey, this is what is X or this is what is Y, because I learned a lot that way. But it has shaped fans in a very, very divisive way. And I've talked about this a little bit of like my obsession with this fan's obsession with quote unquote move sets that I think is really, really bad. Where like, so you'll go like, man, this guy's a really good wrestler, and they like, he doesn't do any moves. There's no moves, and you're like, what are you talking about? Like, that's not part of this. And like this idea that like, if a guy only does 2 moves, he can't be good.
Well, it's like I have the conversation with Mike all the time, especially on the Monday night show, where did you enjoy the show you saw in front of you instead of worrying about what's happening next month or down the line? Oh, this guy had a really good night. It's like, great, but they're not going to do anything with him tomorrow. It's like, well,
who cares?
But who cares? Did you enjoy tonight's show?
So like, I always like when I talk about like the shows that I run, like the next day I get a bunch of texts from wrestlers. Can you give me notes on my match? And I go like, let me watch the show. And then as soon as I get the show, the first thing I do is I watch the show and I go through every segment and I go, was it entertaining? Because as you go, that seems like the lowest bar that you need to clear.
Yeah.
But you have to clear that bar.
Yeah.
And so like I think people should view wrestling that way. You should watch a segment and go like, was it entertaining? Okay, yes or no. If yes, then okay, now we can start talking about X, Y, and Z. But
entertaining is different things for different people. Like,
right.
Yeah, like no, but I'm just
you're
saying,
right. You're right.
Because a lot of people perceived entertaining different ways. Like, I am a story guy. I don't see a lot of stories happening on Raw. When I do, I point them out. When I see the same matches over and over and over and over again, that doesn't entertain me, no matter how good the match is.
Yeah.
It's like, this match is happening for no reason.
The problem I think that happens with Raw is story is happening, but there are minute things that are hidden after a 3-segment match.
Yeah.
There's no emphasis on it. So whoever is putting it together, writing it is like, we're moving the bar. But to us as fans, we're just like, I just watched another 15 minutes of the same match again.
Those minute things, they're not good.
Yeah.
We followed Rowan with his fucking cage for 2.5 GD months, Sorg.
Did you enjoy it?
Finally got the reveal
Was it entertaining?
of this last week. And it was a toy spider, which, okay, fine. But if you're going to run with that, fucking run with it instead of crushing it with some stairs. So that's why a lot of people.
My heart broke when that spider died.
If I can swing this to an interesting story that I heard one time. I may have told the story before. I don't remember. With Jeff Loeb, I heard him on a podcast one time, and Jeff Loeb is a very famous comic book writer, and he worked on Lost. And remember, there was an interview with him.
He ran Marvel TV for.
He's a brilliant man.
He was EP on Heroes, I think.
Yeah, he had left Lost to work on Heroes, I believe. So he was on Lost, and they were interviewing him, and they go like, "Hey man, can you like give us a little like spoilers on Lost?" And he's like, "No, I can't do anything." And they go like, "Well, let's know like what's this smoke monster? Like what is it?" And he goes, I don't know." And they're like, no, but tell us. He's like, "No, literally, I don't know. None of us know. We're writing it as we go. Like we don't know what the thing is. We just thought it was cool, so we put it in the show." And that happens more than you think it does. There's 2 types of writing. There's plotting and pantsing. Plotting is anyone watch Game of Thrones? George R.R. Martin, plotting. A lot of seeds being laid over a long period of time and stuff like that. Pantsing is like post-books Game of Thrones, where they're like, just write it. Like, just what happens next? And you just fly by the seat of your pants.
And you can see the difference.
You can see the huge, massive difference between plotting and pantsing. Some people were really great at pantsing. Some people are really great at writing that stuff on the seat of their pants, just write something entertaining.
Or there's like the first 4 seasons of Supernatural, and then they're like, hey, we're going to do 10 more.
Yeah. So, like, most TV is kind of pantsing of just like, we watch this episode and they're like, oh, they're doing a bottle episode because they're just writing. Okay, we just write this thing.
Yeah.
So
plus, there's a lot of filler when you have to fill 24 episodes.
Wrestling is very, very similar in that like you get into plotting and you go like, okay, we're gonna lay this down and we're gonna do this, and then all of a sudden like things change, things move, and you go like, screw it, right? Throw it all out and start over and just write something and get it out there. So like I think that's wrestling's biggest issue. But like WWE specifically is very pants-seat writing. It's very like, let's just throw something out there this week. And if you hear stories from backstage, it's definitely like that, where they have 4 or 5 copies of a script floating around, and you'll like get into a segment and they're like, not the green script, grab the blue script now. And it's like, oh, what? I have 4 of these. Like, that's how they write. They just, it's not conducive to that show, but for some reason they make millions of dollars.
It works somewhere along the line. Yeah,
but they make the millions of dollars before anyone actually watches the product.
Sure.
It's not merit based.
It's
That's not exactly.
It's.
I mean, what is?
I
May not like the
well,
way that they earned the money, but they earned the money. So
I mean, what is merit-based in entertainment?
I mean, yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking,
so let me roll it back for a second, because I watched the video. I can't remember who posted it, but they're like my daughter watching pro wrestling for the first time live, up in probably the mid cheap seats, watching the thing, and like their moves are happening, and this girl is like losing her mind. It's a house show. It's like your standard stuff. You know what's happening. That's why they're making millions of dollars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
Oh yeah. No, you're.
And that is. I mean, we are not. We say
There's a really famous or really good interview with Freddie Prinze Jr. About Star Wars, where he talks about like the people like me who didn't like the new Star Wars specifically, is like, it wasn't made for you. It's always been for kids, and it's always going to be for kids. The ones you liked was the ones you liked when you were a kid.
Yes.
Like, that's the point.
Go
of
back
this.
and watch the original Star Wars. They're kind of juvenile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, so wrestling, I feel like, is the same kind of way. Like, it's very nostalgia driven, because your brain when you were a child kind of goes that way, and that kid is just always going to be there. Like, it was the brilliance that, and if I ever talk about this, the brilliance of WWE post 2008 going to a PG market was specifically financial crisis. People aren't spending money, and I know this from personal experience. And I think Matt might be the only one who's a parent here. Are you the only one who's a parent?
I am a parent.
I think most parents will not buy something for themselves in order to buy something for their child.
Yes, that is true. But on the flip side, I think part of the PG thing and part of the reason why it sort of worked for WWE was that they knew, okay, we've got a bunch of fans who grew up with Austin and The Rock, and came of age through that whole thing. Now they're married, hopefully, having kids, maybe, and they're ready, and they want to share, like all parents do. They want to share what they love with their kids, whether it's their favorite music or whether it's their favorite video game or whatever it is. So if you're like me and you loved wrestling, but you remember what was happening during the late 90s, and you're thinking, I don't know. Now they put that PG stamp on it, and like, you know what? It's okay. It's safe. You can put your kid in front of this, and it's going to be all right. And it lets you open that door. And then if you're WWE, in theory, what that should do, if you have parents and their children, it should double your market. Unfortunately, that hasn't necessarily happened. But in theory, it was a good idea.
Think them moving to a PG product got them through the financial crisis period. Because there was not a lot of disposable income out there that people were willing to spend on T-shirts and John Cena wristbands and things like that. Like, unless your kid really wanted it, and then you're going to save up and you're going to not have that coffee, or you're not going to do that, and you're going to buy your kid that stuff. I think it got them through.
Well, I would imagine that that's why a lot of the independent feds around here are mostly PG. Yeah. Because you want people to bring their kids.
That's a big part of it. And we can get into. I mean, I think Sorg wants to go to another segment.
Well, speaking of indie wrestling, there was a lot of indie wrestling this weekend, and you can check out some of that indie wrestling, PG and not PG, whatever your choice may be, if you have kids or not, or you just let your kids see the world.
Don't care what they watch.
Go check it out, indywrestling.us, indywrestling.network. Literally uploading as I started this show are 2 great shows. Of course, RWA with March to Victory 2020, which was a fantastic show that I literally finished editing it at 5 o'clock today. So, but also, Marcus Mann, as we were alluding to, you were also a part of the Ryse Wrestling show that happened in Connellsville. A lot of great stuff happened there. Jim Sterling is a part of that. I'd like to kind of mention that. Talk about
Angry
that a little
Space
bit
Potato.
Angry Space Potato. Bradley was there. You actually see Bradley having his chair stolen on that show. So
Yeah, Marcus.
That's what you get as a Ryse Patreon member. As a member of the
You
roster.
paid for that seat.
pay for that
Will,
seat.
Yeah,
you get priority
Hey,
seating.
it was used in the match. It was there's Mayhem and Calamity as Scarlet and Honey Badger went at it. Shirley Doe may have threatened you at ringside. So I always encourage you to buy a ticket. But of course, if you are not able to get to Connellsville and want to see what the fuss is about at Ryse Wrestling, with a Y, you can go check it out at indywrestling.us, and over 300 hours of professional wrestling and interviews going on there. I just have this pull apart going on right now. It's great. So
I can see the sticky that has my name on it on the chair that one of them was holding.
there you go. That's how close to the action people get. So also fantastic stuff going on there. This is the lead in to the main event. That was Tony Johnson.
feature presentation.
Thank you.
We try not to get it confused with the main event.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's good. That's a good thought there. Against in a handicap match for the Ryse Grand Championship against Privilege. #Privilege.
That truly was a handicap match because all Tony Johnson had to do was only beat David Lawless and DCR.
Yes.
So that truly was a handicap match.
So go check that out. A lot of other great stuff. RWA, Prospect Pro Wrestling just had their latest show up last week, and a lot of great stuff going on there. The original Wrestle Rex and Lucia Fiestas are on there as well. Our friends at Premier Championship Wrestling, some welterweight wrestling, so much great classic stuff going on over there. IndyWrestling.network and IndyWrestling.us. Go check it out, and digital download, and the network is $5.99, or check it out with a free 7-day trial. Speaking of Ryse Wrestling, Marcus. So this Jim Sterling thing.
Yeah.
So he's a YouTuber. We haven't talked about this.
Yeah,
on the
let's
show.
talk about Jim Sterling.
Because this has been a fantastic collaboration,
Yeah.
takeover, whatever it's become over there. Can you, because I had no idea going into this, what is Jim Sterling and what the hell is he doing at Ryse?
So Jim is a Englishman. He's from England, but then he moved to the U.S. I don't know how many years ago. He was living in Mississippi, and Jim got very big on social media, YouTube, things like that. Making video game reviews is really his big thing. So for a very long time, he's been making these kind of. He's kind of in that same vein of like Yahtzee Croshaw, and these kind of like they take video games, they kind of break down what's good and what's bad about them in like very interesting and funny ways.
A lot of personality.
They're edited in and stuff like that. And Jim was very, very good at this and has made a really good career out of it. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know when he started getting into wrestling, but he just kind of like started goofing around with wrestling. Did some training down in Mississippi where he was living. And then I'll be completely honest. The owner of Ryse, Brandon K, is a huge video game fan.
They do a great podcast called Culture Pop.
Yeah.
It talks a lot of geeky things.
So Brandon's always playing video games and stuff like that. I am too. I'm a big video game guy. I'm just not a big review guy. We talked a little bit about the wrestling. I kind of just do things on my own. But Brandon was like seeing this stuff from Sterling, and he was like, this guy's really entertaining. And he saw some like wrestling clips and stuff, and he was like, well, that's really funny. So literally just shot him an email. Like, hey, we run a wrestling company, blah, blah, blah. And Jim was like, I'd love to come up and do something. And we saw it as an opportunity because when you watch his videos, he's just so charismatic and so interesting and so funny that we were like, okay, let's give him a shot. Let's just see what we can do here. So we brought him up to Pittsburgh for a show. I believe it was like in September-ish. Mm-hmm. And we gave him a microphone, and I was like, here's the segment. Here's what I think we could do. He adapted immediately. Great promos, really fantastic character. And he came to the back, and I go, wow, it was great. And he goes, I don't think it was very good. And I go, really? And he goes, yeah, I don't think I did a good job. And I go, boy, you fit right into professional wrestling. Like, you got it, dude. Like, that's all of us. And then we talked, and he had some really good ideas, and we had some really good conversations. And then he recently moved to Philadelphia. And has been coming in for us more regularly And he's been one of the most interesting guys. He and I usually take at least like 20 minutes to talk to each other at shows, just to get like some interesting ideas and vibes and stuff like that. He loves like good long-term little storylines where he loves dropping little hints and ideas and things like that, which I'm very interested in. So we meshed immediately storyline wise, and I think he's pulled off everything in spades. And he's got a really big YouTube following. I think he's almost up to 900,000 YouTube subscribers at this point.
Jeez.
And his YouTube following, his Twitter following is fantastic. He's pushed our product. He's done really well. And we really have enjoyed having him. Just in the locker room in general, like, everyone talks about, like, he's become one of those dudes in the locker room that, like, is really quick with a joke and really easy to talk to, and just really, really nice to have at all the shows. So I can't say enough nice things. And that's here's the thing: is like, anyone in our locker room, I'm going to say incredibly nice things about, because they're in our locker room, and I defend and love our locker room no matter what. But even if he wasn't, even if I just met him on the street, he'd be just, everyone who meets him is just like, he's a really interesting, fantastic guy.
He seems like somebody that almost didn't need all that much training from you guys.
No, I mean, he does a little bit with us. Like,
I'm sure he does, but
Yeah.
like the first promo he did, it was
yeah.
Yeah.
The guy's got it in spades.
Yeah,
He's got
very
that
good.
charisma.
He's got the personality and charisma, but it's kind of translating that to like probably the timing and the in front of crowd, because this is a guy that's popular on YouTube.
Yeah.
In front of a camera and editing.
So some of that's like, he's like, well, I'm not getting a reaction here or there, and you're like, okay, but this is why. Like, if you've done it long enough, you know why the crowd's kind of not saying anything, or why they are saying something, or things like that. And he's learning that, and he's starting to pick it up, and you're like, okay, you got a knack for this. Like, you really know. He came from the South when he did wrestling, so like, crowds are very different in Mississippi than they are in Pittsburgh, and they're much more responsive to everything in Mississippi. And so he was like, oh, like, I'd say like one line, and the crowd would go like insane. You're like, it's a very just. Southern crowds are more into that type of stuff than Pittsburgh. And then we got like a little bit, like I talked to him a little bit, like the history of Pittsburgh wrestling and how the Philadelphia bleed in and the WWF New York bleed in, and how that kind of shaped the market. Once he started figuring that out, he's gotten a lot better with like understanding that this line might not get it, but that's okay because this line will. And like, he's paced himself a lot better and understood it. And it's only, I mean, he's really only been with us for like 4 shows, and he's just really got an knack for it now.
If I had to choose anything that was at the first, I was going to say he could do better, and he fixed it very quickly, was give the crowd a chance to react. Give us a chance. Give me a chance to start a chant.
But to his credit, I think he had mic problems the very first promo he did. Like, the mic cut out, and he just kind of kept going with it. So I mean, there was a little bit of hurdle along with that.
Yeah.
So no.
I mean that's always like I've been in shows where the mic is gone, and you've had to like go, all right, man, like, guess I hope you can hear me, type of stuff, or you just kind of wrap up and move. Like I said, he's adapted quick as all hell, and I've been impressed with it. He adapted on promos, I think, faster than anyone I've seen, even myself, when I was like that, like, young, or like in front of crowds, like not really doing it as often as you would think. I mean, I don't know how many shows he's done, like, because I don't know how many he did down south. But
did he pop up at Chikara as well?
He did. Something? He did last Saturday. He popped up at Chikara, did like a meet and greet and some stuff over there.
Yeah.
He's been talking to Quackenbush and stuff about like doing some stuff over there. He absolutely loves Chikara wrestling. It was very, very funny because I can't remember which show it was. He was supposed to come in for us the next month, and the month before, I had the Chikara car came in with like Still Life and Whisper and all those guys, and he was like, I can't believe I'm not there for that show. Like, I love these guys, I've been following them. And you're like, really? And he's like, oh, I absolutely love Chikara. So whenever we like had the Chikara car in, he was like, that's so awesome that you guys are doing stuff like that, which we love those guys. Like, I hang out with I've been hanging out recently because I've been seeing them a lot in Ohio, like Cromwell's and DeFarge and those guys, and the Char Group, and they're just, all those guys are just doing fantastic work out there. So getting to see him do some stuff with the Chikara was pretty cool as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you had a pretty interesting post today about Pittsburgh Wrestling that you were getting some response from. So I wanted to kind of, did you get some good stuff out of it?
No, I just don't want to talk about it.
You just don't okay.
No, I'm kidding.
No, not that. No. Not that post. Not that post.
Oh, okay.
The other post.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. No, I don't. I didn't even check my status in a while because I've been in the chat room. I have to leave the chat room, I think.
I think momentarily you can throw it in the corner.
I mean, like there. So I just started like thinking of like about this idea about Pittsburgh wrestling of like who is the best Pittsburgh wrestler right now, and that's that's such a loaded question because to me it's about like what do you like. So and it gave me a nice little blend for certain people because it's like some people who were responding with certain wrestlers, and I can read like a couple. Like a good example is like I've seen like Ron Hunt's name come up a couple times, and like Ron is very entertaining and a very very good. I think he's a fantastic heel. I've not got to watch as much as his babyface run stuff in RWA, but he's so charismatic and he's so hungry on a promo, and he's so very different than like a Lee Moriarty, who is charismatic but not in the same way of like the promo driven or the storyline driven stuff, but like so dynamic in the ring. A lot of people were saying Jack Pollock, obviously, with what he's doing over there at IWC. I think who was it? John Roden's name got thrown in a couple times. Sam Elias, Johnny Patch.
That's Sam Adonis.
Or Sam Adonis, not Sam Elias. I apologize, Sam. I'm trying to see who else is in there. And then like Main Event got their name thrown out there a couple times. This tag team, and I mean, who's going to argue against them as the best tag team in Pittsburgh?
Somebody's got to be saying Lee in there.
A lot of Lees. I'll give that. I'll give Lee a lot of credit.
Bradley.
Is that your tag name with him? Lee and I have Lee and I have an interesting argument all the time, like when we're in the car together, which is I call it the Seinfeld Chris Rock argument. So like Seinfeld and Chris Rock have this disagreement about stand-up comedy, where Chris Rock believes that people come to a show to see the performer, to see what this person has to say. Seinfeld believes that people are coming for the jokes, the specific material. So Lee and I kind of always have this kind of disagreement where I'm like, I think people are there to see the character and what the character is going to do, and Lee feels that they're there to see the match and what that person's doing in the match, the moves that he's doing, that.
Okay.
So like we have this kind of disagreement.
That's interesting.
On it, and I feel like Lee has started to make that bridge between the two. So that has been really fascinating.
A 1-to-1 to that because again, going through the Ryse show, there was, for instance, PB Smooth and Joshua Bishop, which was was reminded like, and Josh Bishop is the guy that I've seen at UXWA and AIW doing main event stuff at AIW. Both of them featured, and Derek did a really good job. Derek Direction was on commentary.
Of course he was.
Of course he was, and really kind of bridging that what's going on with AIW. Both these guys are going to be in Tampa WrestleMania weekend doing things that are pretty big, and them at Ryse, that crowd doesn't know that.
No.
And me as a fan, I can come to Ryse to see that match because I want to see those guys.
Sure.
But I really want to see that in the AIW environment.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. So there's those two guys in the Odeon. Is a different vibe than them in the Stronghold.
Again, a Matt Connard versus Tony Johnson is going to be different in the Stronghold than at Black Diamond Wrestling.
Exactly, and that's the thing about it is like, so PB and Josh was like, okay, how do we get something different on the show? And I don't think they'd never worked a singles match together.
Really?
I don't think they had.
Well, but they're both tag guys up there. Yeah.
So they'd never worked a singles match, to my belief, and I was like, man, it's two big guys. It's a Haas match. We don't have that on the card, and like PB needs something coming off of last time we saw him was in January, so like I think it'd be a good match for him. And we had Josh in with Wes as a tag, and man, he is so good. Josh Bishop is going to be one of those guys in 2 years that just you see him on TV. Like he's got something.
Derek had a good line in that, and I apologize for keeping you from hearing the commentary, Marcus, being here tonight.
Want to watch my show.
But he said a line of like, these are two guys you're going to see in an arena or stadium in the next few years.
PB's. I've been saying that for a while. Just his athleticism, his speed, his size.
He's ridiculous.
He's very, very great. Josh has got this charisma and like intensity about him that I absolutely love. So that's like, those are the types of matches that I think, like, if you see it on paper, it's one of those things where you're like, well, I don't know where else I'm going to see it, so I'll see it here, which is like the goal of it. Let's get people in the door. But I think once you see that match, you like, And looking back, like, man, PB did some stuff that I've never seen PB do before in that match.
When they were doing the typical Haas shoulder block, nobody moves, and then he says we need more room. Yeah. And they started at the back of the ring and met in the front twice. I was like, I've never seen that before. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, they're very, very smart guys. Josh, who's not long in this business. I mean, he's very, very young, and you see his maturity and his ability. And that's like, I've been trying to do that more. I haven't done a list yet, but the amount of people on our roster who are regular to semi-regular that are going to be wrestling in Tampa coming up here is long. It's very, very long right now. And that goes all the way from like the AAW crew with like PB and Derek and Dan and stuff to MV Young,
Calvin and Tyler,
Tyler, Ziggy. I know Sean Phoenix is going to be down there. MV Young's running his own show. David Lawless is going to be down there. So like, it's not just like those types of guys. It's the competitors that you see like month in, month out. Lee Moriarty is going to be down there doing stuff. Trey Lamar. Like there's so many guys that and girls that we brought in that are going to be down there doing stuff. And it just got like to a point where like, man, there's a really good group of talent from this tri-state area that isn't just making the tri-state area waves anymore. They're getting Mania bookings. They're getting bookings in Indiana. They're getting bookings in New York and all that type of stuff. It's been fantastic.
There's been, between the rises, the AIWs, the training. I mean, there's several very good trainers schools in this area that have been just turning out stuff for the last 5 years. It's been insane. Yeah. What Cleveland's been doing, I mean, we see Cleveland all over WWE. We see Pittsburgh all over WWE. This has been happening for a while. And I feel like it's kind of become this big bubble, this big talent bubble that's really kind of reaching this crescendo right now. Yeah,
I've been really fascinated to watch. I had a really good conversation with Wadsworth, not Farnsworth, but Wadsworth, who does the commentary over at AIW. And he was just talking about, like, the school and how like they've gotten onto this really, really good track of once you get like one or two like great classes that are going out and getting other bookings and they get out there and then the next class comes in and wants to be that class and then it just starts rolling. It pushes everybody and rolling. Yeah. And so like AAW has been one of those places that's just put out consistently good workers at our training school. And that has a lot to do with Dominic Guarini and Josh Prohibition, but also guys like Dr. Dan and Derek and those guys that are like down there with them every single week, working with them as well and learning their ins and outs. And so like, Dom, the trainers are there to do the stuff, but they have a lot of mentors and people as well that are, Wes Barkley is one of those guys who's been around training now a lot. And Josh Bishop like gets in there when they can. And Zach Thomas and those types of guys that are there to like be mentors to the new kids and teach them how to do things the right way. And they have a really good track record of doing it. Where Pittsburgh as well. I mean, you look at some of the people that just keep churning out of Pittsburgh right now. It's been fantastic, and I give IWC School a lot of credit with that. You see, like you watch 2PW, you watch those types of shows. They're churning out a lot of great talent, and they're churning out a lot of people that really want to do it. And so, like, if I can give anything out, like to people out there that are maybe watching this and interested in training, is there are a lot of good training schools out there right now, specifically. Obviously I'm going to push my school and Brandon K and what Brandon has done over the years and who he is and what he can do. If that school isn't close enough for you, there's other places to go. Pick a trainer that you want to be trained by. I think I tell people all the time, if you see a trainer and you think they're going to be good for you, watch their matches, see how good they are, make the determination for yourself, because I think the good trainers stand on their own 2 feet. Guys like I said, Brandon K, Chris LaRusso. I know Quinn Magnum's been helping out a little bit at IWC with some training stuff, which is good. Go to AIW. Josh Prohibition and Dominic Guarini are phenomenal trainers. If you watch and you go like, that's the guy I want to be trained by, I think you should go for it.
Awesome. So a lot of great stuff going on. Again, check out Ryse Wrestling. With a Y. With a Y.
With a Y.
Go check it out. There's a lot on YouTube.
Okay, I will.
Oh, good. And please contribute to the Patreon for them as well if you like what's going on. Help support independent wrestling always.
I'll do that too.
Hey, so also please go support our friends of the show. Maybe you're not in the area, but if you are, please go check out our friends at sliceonbroadway.com, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. 4 locations here in town. But of course, if you're not here, please tweet them, PGH_slice. Let them know you want to slice on your Broadway, wherever you may be. And you never know, maybe we can help them expand a little bit as well. Thanks to our friends Slice on Broadway. Hey guys, we're gonna roll right into a quick ad. We're going to hear from somebody real quick and be right back with Mayhem Mania, because we've had a long front-loaded show, and mainstream Matt has been chomping at the bit over here to clean up this damn mess. We'll be right back in a second. Otherwise, I want to just kind of roll right into it.
That's fine. I don't
Since
even know
we're
what's
running.
going on.
Find Tina and Alex.
Tina and Alex. Oh, Mike's been out for a while. Sorry.
Yeah.
You had some stuff going on, so I muted you mid-conversation.
What the hell? I muted my thing.
It did not go through.
Oh, that's
It happens.
Okay, my bad.
It's cool. It's cool.
I didn't even mean to talk about all that stuff.
Listen, I know I'll get you going.
All of a sudden, I start talking about training, and
So who do you think's the best wrestler?
honestly, and I will say this: I don't think it's an argument. It's Lee Moriarty. I hands down believe that.
I completely agree. I also think, how can I put this? I think Calvin Couture does what he does every bit as well as Lee Moriarty does what Lee Moriarty does.
I won't disagree with that. Calvin has grown by leaps and bounds.
Alex.
Watching Calvin's growth from when I first started using him as like, some, I don't want to sound mean, but like Potter's tag partner. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was like one of those things of like, hey kid, we really like your gimmick. We think you have some potential. We're going to put you with Potter and see what happens type of thing to, Calvin is main eventing for our show in Baldwin, like that's where he's at right now because, Calvin Couture can get me one of the most interesting stories out of anyone. He's just so he's starting to develop. We've talked to him for a long time about developing that like Rick Rude viciousness, and the more he's developed that, the more fascinating he's become as a wrestler. But I would agree with you. Calvin is very, very good at what he does. But watching Lee Moriarty work is just
it's artistry. It's
Yeah,
absolutely artistry.
I saw that. But that was the second Alex Shelley match I think he had.
Yeah.
I saw stuff I've never seen out of him.
This is one of the highest compliments I can give anyone. Inside those ring ropes, he's as smart as DJZ. He's so smart. He's just so brilliant in there. Like, I know specifically people on our roster will go to Lee because they'll have trouble and be like, hey, how do I get from A to B? And he can find a way. But it's so weird because then I was talking to Lee about stuff and I was like, yeah, well, this guy, like, he kind of meanders out of the running lanes a little bit. And Lee's like, what do you mean running lanes? And I was like, I'm trying to explain something to him. And he's like, I just wrestle. Like, he doesn't know, like, he doesn't understand it, like, in a weird way. He just does it. He's just so good at it. It's like it's like Michael Jordan trying to teach you how to do a jump shot. Like, he doesn't know how he's doing. He's just so.
It's like a crazy natural
It's
ability.
like trying to explain jazz.
Yeah, he really is. He's so smart at it, and has such an ability to close space and create space, and not making it seem like he's creating space or closing space and stuff like that. It's just really
show your
beautiful to
Legos
watch.
again.
What's that, Tina?
I was asking Mike to show his Lego again real quick.
Oh my!
Hey, this is a PG show.
The only reason I might have Lee as a number 2 in my mind
He said
is
number
because what?
2. You said number 2.
Oh, there goes my being taken seriously. The only reason is after the last 5-6 years of seeing Jack Pollock.
Look, see, the weird thing about Pollock is I always feel bad about putting him in a like top 5 or top 3 or anything like that because it feels so biased. 'Cause I mean, I've known the dude half my life. Like, he's my best friend, and I love him to death. So, like, whenever I go, like, well, Jack Pollock's the best wrestler in Pittsburgh, people are like, you would say that.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like I feel like I have a natural bias to him at all times.
The two weird things about putting him on the list are, one, you're so close, and two, the way he kisses. It's just
Yeah. He's I would say, and I don't want to sound too overwhelmingly nice about my friend. I don't know if anyone tells stories better than him. I really, really don't.
Yeah.
He's such a great storyteller, and his sense of timing for story effect is so unlike anyone else, and he's so good at it. That I mean, I would put him. Obviously, I put my friend very, very high. You know, it's just tough to. It's always tough to be like.
It's like that with anybody.
Yeah.
Like once you make a personal connection with a wrestler, like once you've met someone face to face, and you know if they're nice to you, I mean you're on board forever.
Yeah.
Like,
You mean
it's
how we
like
talk
that no
about Elias
matter,
every
you know-
week?
What's that?
You mean like how we talk about Elias every week?
Yeah, I mean that's not a mistake.
No,
That's
but
not an accident.
No,
though.
it's
I mean,
the same way. Like
yeah.
when I watch Raw, if I'm watching Raw and I'm usually fast forwarding through Raw, and I see Ruby Riott come in, I pause because I know Heidi.
Yeah.
Like she's awesome. Like she's a really great person. You're like, oh, what's she doing? Like there's that level that you like. Of course you're gonna stomp because they're nice people. So like that's part of it.
I'm going to make this statement. I think if I had to think about Lee might have some better matches. Pollock has had better feuds.
I would agree with that. Pollock's such a great storyteller and a great like. I don't think anyone gets into the middle of a story the way Pollock does. Like everyone has really good beginnings and really good ends, but that middle section is really where Pollock has his strength. I would put Connor up there as a storyteller. He's very, very good at it. I have the sad thing is like because I've been so inundated in watching like obviously my own product and things that people send me, but I've been watching like a ton of indie wrestling TV, like AAW stuff and Black Label Pro and GCW and Bizarro Lucha and that type of stuff, trying to like stay current. Like I haven't had enough time to watch really a lot of RWA stuff or 2PW stuff, and I hear very, very good things about Roden, but I have not gotten to watch him. But the word of mouth is out there, and that was like early on when I didn't have a lot of time. I was working like PWX all the time, and I was like super focused on it. All I kept hearing about was like, you have to see RJ City. You have to watch RJ City. And it's one of those things of like, yeah, I know he's good. I know he's good. And then it's not until you watch him that you're like, oh, but like Roden's been on that like radar of people be like, okay, his matches and what he does, and you're like, I will get to you, dude. I will watch your stuff. But the word of mouth is out there that let me know is that like he's on that list. Like that people are really, really connecting with him, and that's probably a good thing.
I'll just kick you that championship tournament from 2PW, and you got 3 matches and a story. You'll basically be at it in a nutshell.
I haven't had time to watch it. I feel bad because like I prefer like I guess now I just prefer watching my friends wrestle than TV wrestling. I think that's just where I'm at now. But if like my friends are on TV, like if I turn on Ring of Honor and it's Shane Taylor, I'm like, well, I'm gonna watch that, or I'm gonna watch that. So like that's kind of where I'm at right now. But I'll have to sit down and watch it when I get some time.
Can I give a number 3? I'm thinking in my head. I think I'm Andrew Powell's.
I wouldn't disagree with you. I mean, like I love Palace.
It might be somewhere between Matt and Palace.
I wouldn't disagree with you.
But,
well, I mean, it's everyone's list is their list.
Yeah. It's what appeals to you.
Palace is a great storyteller. Palace is a great worker. Palace's promo he just did today. Excuse me.
That was good.
He was doing he was like drawing himself, like winning the tag titles and stuff. Palace has a way to get you on like a promo that like you don't think is going to be like, I don't want to say good, but it's like, oh, it's a spazzy character. What can he really do? And he finds an interesting way to twist it to keep you entertained and keep you interested.
It's that I want to call it maybe quirkiness that came from him being one of the STDs with Flexor.
Yeah.
I think because they were doing like really cool things when he was part of the group.
Yeah.
Like there was like really kind of like interesting, but super weird, but very interesting. Like
but he keeps getting matches in some of these cards. That's not the main event, but it's still an amazing match in there.
Good.
In Wheeling, when he faced Lee Moriarty.
Yeah.
Rob's calling out second half of RWA this weekend was awesome. That was JDL and Rev and the three-way with Bill Collier, Eads, and J-Rock for the title. And then they had Crazy Steve and Gory against Gregory and Hentai.
See, here's the thing, this also might be biased. It's very hard for me to fill out a top 5 without Gory.
Yeah, yeah.
Period.
Agreed.
It's hard to fill that top 5. And
He
not go, that guy.
often comes up in the why the fuck isn't he signed somewhere?
He knows why. We'll leave it at that. No, it doesn't. No, here's the thing. Is like, and I want to make this clear as well because like I always put Bill Collier in that list too because Bill was so good for so long and stuff like that. Getting signed isn't a meritocracy.
No.
They know why they haven't been signed, and they've clearly carved out their careers and are happy with their careers, and they continue to do it.
And Gory's somebody who's well traveled for somebody who hasn't been signed somewhere. Like he's been everywhere.
And I think that's the thing is I think fans specifically shouldn't look at that of like, man, that guy should get signed. It's like I want that guy to get signed so that he can make a living doing wrestling.
Right.
Is all I really care about. But at the same time, if they're happy with who they are and what they're doing,
I don't care if DJZ and Elias never get a main event WrestleMania thing.
They're making money, man.
They're not. You know.
Wardlow's the same way. Like
same thing. Yeah.
Watching Wardlow on AEW, just kind of stand there in a suit where you're like, man, this guy could be having money matches every week. I know how passionate he is and how much that dude wants to just go tear it up.
But he doesn't have to worry about driving six hours for a hot dog.
Yeah,
so
he's making money and he's in the gym and he's very, very happy.
And Shane too. If you're shitting on Ring of Honor for whatever of the myriad of reasons these days, Shane is doing good.
Shane feeds his
Shane
kids.
is good.
Shane feeds his kids off wrestling, and that's important. And like I said, it doesn't matter how passionate they are because they'll get their opportunity and they'll shine. Wardlow's a perfect example. He got his opportunity, got in a cage, and he shined.
Oh yes,
but he got to learn.
And didn't kill a boss.
he got to learn. He got to work with legends and understand it. And I don't think that guy would trade 6 weeks in a suit stand next to MJF for any indie booking in the world.
Nope.
And the fact that he's a bodyguard right now does not mean that's going to be it.
No.
How many great wrestlers started as a bodyguard?
Yeah. It's slow burn. Let the slow burn happen.
Yeah,
he's not there if they don't have a plan for him.
He'll be fine. Everyone will be fine.
All right, let's get started on the second half here. We kind of had a whole extra show right there that was only for Facebook.
We don't have to go next week?
That was only for
We
Facebook.
have to come back
I could just like pull that off of Facebook and
is this talking Mayhem?
No, that's later.
Oh,
That's
okay.
later. We gotta have the Mayhem Mania, then we'll talk Mayhem Mania.
Okay.
There's a process, Marcus.
Is this the Mayhem Mania pre-show?
We don't tell you how to run your show.
There's no way.
That's it. Good night, everybody.
There's no way Missy's letting us do a talking Mayhem Mania tonight. I'm just telling you right now. It's not happening.
All right. Everybody else left. You had like a whole crowd.
Maybe we'll do tomorrow morning.
She had her own Mayhem show staff back there.
Where'd they all go?
Yeah, where'd they go?
They're all kidnapped.
Were they mad because they weren't the #1 wrestler?
He walked out in a huff.
That's right. Anyways,
She was surrounded by gingers, basically, wasn't she?
Missy, did you catch the gingivitis?
All right, how's this game work?
All right, hold on a second. We gotta introduce it first. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Aren't you caught up on the lore?
Hold on. We gotta get into the show. It's the Mayhem Mania. Marcus Mann is here, and he has no idea what the rules are, despite having been here, I think, most of the years. But we'll get past that.
This is like my second year.
Second year?
Tops.
No.
Tops.
Really?
No, maybe third. I'm not familiar with the lore.
We'll search that later. But here to step us through the whole thing. Why is that up front? They're not sponsoring us. What's happening here? Get that out of the front. Corona's not sponsoring us. There you go. This is not sponsor of Mayhem Mania.
It's the taste of a new generation.
No.
Okay, sorry.
No.
Sorry.
No. That's
The
like
taste is infectious.
That's right. Damn it. Fuck. Mainstream Matt, what's happening?
Mayhem Mania is it's kind of a competitive thought experiment. The goal is to create the best WrestleMania card possible within the boundaries of the current reality in which we all live. That means everyone we're using comes in their current physical, emotional, contractual, pharmacological, etc. state. Vince McMahon can do it. You can do it.
Sorry, pharmacological maybe like
You're
think
welcome.
of like 6 people.
Three of them were New Jack.
New Jack, Dylon, no, okay.
So what we have is what we will have. You may notice there are 7 matches right now on this here marker board. There will be 8 eventually, and your job will be to make one change to the card to improve it, to make it better, because we're showing Vince the untapped potential of the greatest assemblage of wrestling talent in the history of mankind, which is what WWE has right now, but they can't seem to get it all put into place. So anyway, so you can either get rid of a match entirely, bring in an entirely new match with entirely new people. You can swap one person out for another person, or swap a tag team out for another person. You can get really cute. I think one of the Haasmen did this one time, Sorg. But you can swap one for one inside the card.
They used to happen all the time.
Real funny, yeah. And so let your imagination run wild, but not too wild, because there are rules. Anyway, the point is that the reason there are 7 matches on this card and not 8 is that because if a match survives 3 straight weeks without being altered in any way, it graduates to a super card. We lock it in and we just move it off to the side so that we can open up another slot so we can have some more fun. So far we've graduated 3 whole matches.
Okay, question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is only 3 weeks left, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens if at the end those matches does just the card become the card?
Oh,
Well,
just enjoy the current week's programming.
Oh, sorry.
That's what we've been told, right? Are you entertained?
I'm trying to judge my odds about how I get my match in there.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different ways. I mean,
fucked
look, listen, Marcus. It's true, Marcus. We are going down the home stretch.
Yeah.
We're coming down. We're gonna have a couple more rounds. This round, another round, and then we're gonna have Patreon in the bank. Sorg.
I'm unaware. What is this?
That is when we invite only the Patreon supporters of the Wrestling Mayhem Show to come, and they get super duper powers, and that's when the shit really hits the fan, because that's when we bring in stipulations and special referees. That's when friendships get broken, and sometimes if they give us enough money, we give them the power to auto graduate fast track matches straight to the supercard. So Sorg, it all ends up working out in the end every year, doesn't it?
More or less.
We've done this 5 straight years, and we always end up with an 8-match.
And then you have to
supercard.
recover for 3 months psychologically.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you guys at the end, because I've never graduated all the way to the end, obviously I drink a lot, do you do a card order of what's going to be your kickoff match versus what's your main event?
Sometimes we put matches on the pre-show.
Okay.
We have a very special match that we have on the pre-show. We'll get to that in a second. Okay. I think you're going to like this one. You're not allowed to steal this idea, by the way.
I'm not
This
stealing
is my idea.
But here's what I'm saying. That might be an interesting Patreon gift.
There you
Is to put the card in order of what's the main event, and what's
I don't know. We have so many more
I
higher
am
level
nothing
Patreons.
if not
so,
flexible
yeah.
and easily influenced, Marcus. That sounds like a great idea. I got to be honest with you. Anyway,
I'm familiar with the lore. I get it.
the lore. Anyway, Sorg, we've graduated 3 matches so far.
Oh.
Don't you think we should tell Marcus what the 3 matches that have graduated to our supercard are so far?
Yeah, because I want to know who I can't use.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then that doesn't end there either.
Oh.
We have a lot of explaining to do here. These rules are very simple, very simple.
It seems like it.
Yeah, it seems like anyone can
It's
do this.
definitely not convoluted at all.
It's not convoluted at all. Here are the matches that have graduated so far. Marcus, you're gonna love.
All right,
Do I get a
second.
slideshow?
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
you
gonna
do.
get a
Here you
slideshow. Here we go. First
go.
off, the match that graduated, we have first. Yes, that's right. Sky Pirates, Asuka, Io Shirai, and Kairi Sane versus Mia Yim, Tegan Knox, and Kaylee Ray.
Question: is that a real tag team, or did you guys make that up?
We made that.
We made it up.
Yeah.
Oh, good for
Tina
you.
Keys made it
Tina
up.
Keys made it
Oh,
up.
good for you guys.
I think the Mia Yim, Kaylee Ray, Tegan Knox is based in
Yeah.
some vague sort
They're
of reality.
like
Sure.
Tina
the
explained
shiniest
it. I
wizard
don't.
or something like
yeah,
that?
So it happened.
Yeah, some
one-
of these stuff. Yeah,
I don't-
yeah.
Like shiny, smashy, something like that. I
Something-
forget
Hold on,
Yeah.
Tina's here.
exactly.
She can explain it if she'd like.
Nah, we don't need to
Oh,
get into
okay,
it. That's
move it
okay.
on.
Just,
Sorry,
let's
Tina.
just assume it's an awesome tag team. Edge versus Matt Riddle,
Oh.
created by Chad the Shed. And then Sorg, I'm really jacking with this.
Oh,
We
oh.
go all the way down to the bottom.
Where is it? All the
all
way at
the
the
way down to the bottom of the show. The
bottom.
latest graduated match
Oh, this
is
one?
Jazz
No.
versus Bianca Belair.
Tina got
I
2
love
of them.
All right, so Tina Keys has created 2 matches that have graduated so far. She
Gotcha.
is running this whole show basically. So
Perfect.
anytime
MVPs.
So anytime you graduate a match, you get like a series of rewards. So it's kind of like a little incentive for everyone to try their best. So Tina, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Congratulations, you are dominating Mayhem Mania in a way that I can't quite recall ever happening before. So great job so
I
far.
wouldn't say dominating. I just studied a lot on the lore like you're supposed to.
Yeah, you're supposed to do your homework.
It's the lore.
If you would do the lore,
You were supposed to FedEx me the giant tome.
Oh, you know what? I sent the link to other people. I didn't send you the link to the matches. You know what?
I need a tome.
Anyway. I can't do this in front of them. All right, now, in addition to the
Okay.
people that you just saw on the card that you
Okay.
can't use because they're already used,
Got it.
there are also some other people that you are not allowed to use because they are locked in the thing that we lovingly refer to as space jail.
Okay.
Okay. So through various points during the process here of Mayhem Mania, people end up getting locked away, and if they're on this wheel, you cannot use them. Okay. And those people include, this is a little complicated because Mad Mike put WLC into space
That's
jail.
that's not a person.
It's a stipulation
Okay.
that could come up
So
later.
concepts can stay in here.
Concepts could be put into
It's
space
because
jail
of a personal grudge. It's
because of a personal grudge and because
There's a long
he
storied
wants to
history in the lore.
mess with the
Yeah.
rules.
You gotta say the lore.
Yeah.
You gotta say the lore.
Okay.
I'm nothing if not flexible. See. All right. So here's some actual human beings. Randy Orton, Goldberg.
Can you? I don't want to take up all night, but can you explain how each and every person got in?
No.
No, you got go watch some
They
past
know what they did.
episodes.
People
of-
were rewarded.
They know what
Okay.
they did.
all right.
Rewarded
Yeah.
with their
Go-
choice
just-
of
just-
sending somebody
Just go
to space
catch
jail.
the
and they
first
were
episode of Talking Mayhem.
Mad
Mania.
Mike hates me. That's why WLC is in there.
there. All right. Randy Orton, Goldberg, Ronda Rousey, Triple H, and Bailey. Now, as part of her reward for graduating a match, Tina gets to put one more person into space
There you
jail
go.
right now. So, Tina, would you like to put someone into space jail for us, please?
Yeah, just because at least in my way of thinking, I don't know where I could place her in this current roster of what's going on.
Her.
The legit boss, Sasha Banks.
Oh my!
Oh,
Oh,
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I get her point.
She did just thank Vince for not booking her on WrestleMania so she can just hang out and collect a paycheck.
I would
the
thank
Boston
him.
Hug connection.
I
are
would thank him for
jailbirds.
that too, man.
Yeah.
You mean I get to hang out and just get coronavirus?
All right, so here's another fun part about
boy.
space jail. It's a giant prize wheel. So usually,
Don't give it away. Don't give away the secret.
we spin the wheel once every week to see if someone
This
can
is also a
escape
visual
space
medium.
jail. You may think, what are the odds that's going to happen? It keeps freaking happening. All right.
I love
People
Marcus
keep breaking
is-
out of space jail.
Marcus is worried about Mayhem kayfabe, or as we like to call it, Mayfabe.
If you were caught up on the lore, you'd know this.
Hashtag-
Space jail
hashtag
is
the lore.
a minimum security facility.
Okay.
So let's spin the wheel and see if anyone escapes space jail tonight.
I bet Sasha gets right out.
That's just my luck, right?
Are you kidding? Oh!
It's
Alex.
I'm behind it. I didn't see what happened.
Free.
Wait,
Milk.
Alex,
was it?
Alex,
Oh, no.
your
Oh, no.
reaction.
I'm here. Give me the good news.
WLC is out of space jail.
God damn it.
Yes!
Mike and Mad Mike, I warned you this could happen.
I know.
What is
But you know what? Patreon
By the way-
eventually knows this.
By the way, now that that's out, Marcus, I need to talk to you later about an idea involving the main event and tiny ladders.
Okay, good.
Okay,
good.
all right,
Perfect.
I've already had a partial conversation about this with
Perfect.
somebody.
We'll have to talk about it later.
Yes.
On talking.
On talking Mayhem Mania. Yes.
Not even close. Not even
It
close.
lasted a good long time.
It did.
It had a good run.
It did. It did have a good
All
run.
right.
Now it's free.
All right, second reward for Tina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is where I go. You can't take this idea. All right. We decided to put on the
I love
pre-show.
you're worried about.
Don't steal my idea. We have a little thing we call it the for the pre-show. It's called the Mayhem Cluster Battle Rumble. Okay, Battle Royal. All right, we invite people to name entrants. When we get to Patreon in the bank, everyone's going to get the name one. But Tina, you get to jump the gun here. So far, Shawn Michaels and Riddick Moss are in the Mayhem Cluster
How
Battle
many people
Rumble.
were in the last year's one?
Like 15 or 20, something like
Okay,
that.
all right.
So-
And
Did
like-
they win a big trophy? Like
Yeah, they get the
like a big-
aggro crag.
like
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It looks like a female reproductive organ.
And Tina, I will remind you, if they are in the Mayhem Cluster Battle Rumble, they can be double booked. They can do another match too. So.
Matt, this is a question I had last week. If they are in Space Jail, can they be booked in the Cluster Battle Royal?
No.
Read
No.
the lore. Learn the
just-
lore.
No.
Learn the lore. God.
Tina!
I was asking for clarification. I wrote the fucking lore.
I didn't get my tome.
This is strange because I could have sworn I was the one writing the lore every week on the website. But anyway, Tina,
Yes.
you want to help me out here? Marcus is busting my chops.
I don't know the lore.
Let's go ahead and add a new toy to the mix. Why not add a recently signed Killer Cross?
There we go. That's better.
Ooh.
TikTok.
Okay. Now, Tina, something else very exciting is you get to hand out a little bit of dose of punishment. So we've got our players this week.
Uh-oh.
We're bringing in we're actually letting Billy play this week, and Billy sent his in remotely to me earlier. So you're not going to be able to punish Billy, but you can punish Farnsworth or Bradley
No.
or Alex or Marcus.
Well,
Would you like to tell people what the punishment is first, or should we punish them first and then reveal what the punishment's going to be?
I think we should let them know who's going to be punished,
Mm-hmm.
and then when it's their turn, let them know what the punishment is.
Okay, great. Well, I think we'll reveal the
Hey.
punishment after you choose who's going to get it. So who do you think should get the punishment this week?
Well, for somebody who talks a lot of stuff for not knowing the lore, I want you to think on your feet. Marcus, man, you're getting punished tonight.
Oh.
All right. Marcus.
Wow.
Well, the good news is that you're going last, so you got lots of time to think about it.
Fantastic.
Marcus, the punishment for you this week, in honor of that fine documentary that came out on the WWE Network, you must use an FCW alum to
okay.
create your match. So
Ooh, okay.
Smart guy like you
Okay.
I have a list if you need help.
I may need because I'm gonna get FCW and OVW confused.
So we're gonna see.
There's a lot of crossover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta be
There's a
careful.
lot of crossover there.
Yeah.
All
And Dave Podner says there's a lot of lore shaming going on.
Yeah, don't shame the lore. All right, Tina. Finally, we got to create a new match to fill this hole, our 8th spot on the card. So would you do us a favor with that, and then we will get down to the business of making some changes.
Okay, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I have 3 matches in mind. I just want to know from you guys what's missing. Is it something a brawling style, technical style, or cruiserweight?
You're definitely not missing cruiserweight.
It's missing a
Okay.
WLC match.
Oh, you know what? Should I recap the match? Or
Yes, you
matches,
should
or-
probably do that.
let's
Oh wait,
recap
I
the
got.
match?
Hold on, we'll get the rest of the slideshow.
Okay, let's get the rest of the slideshow. I will run through the rest of the matches now here.
Hold on.
Okay.
I got so much going on.
This is a
Sometimes
reminder,
I get a
there
little
you
bit
go.
confused. All right, here we go. First of all, we got Ligero versus Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Jordan Devlin versus John Morrison versus Ricochet. Huh? All right.
Created by Alex Cars.
Created by X Cars. Next up, we have the Iconics versus Tony Storm and Killer Kelly. Yes, I got that right. Okay.
Yes.
Who made that one? Tina Keys. Next up, we have Finn Balor versus Aleister Black, created by Brandon from KC. We've got Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. We booked ours first, folks. Created by producer Missy. CM Punk versus Angel Garza, created by Chad the Shad.
Jeez.
Reverend Devon and Deacon Batista versus Paul London and the Brian Kendrick.
Oh
Created
boy.
by, who created that?
Oh, that was Jamie
Oh,
Jameson.
the Country Hammer, Jamie Jameson created that one.
I love how we have both WWE superstars with the surname Killer booked.
I like it.
Mhm.
And finally, Elias versus Shinsuke Nakamura, created by the Podfather himself, Sorgatron. All right, Tina.
Yes.
Wait, did you guys decide? What do you want? Tina has asked everyone to chime in here.
Let's get a brawl.
Yeah,
A brawl?
I'm feeling a brawl.
brawl.
All right. Okay, this is a pretty decent brawl, so we'll see. How about Walter
All caps.
versus Drew McIntyre?
Oh,
Oh, that's a Euro brawling right there. Okay.
Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
All right.
I mean, it's no Walter versus Keith Lee, but
It's a sore subject.
I'm aware.
Perhaps you've heard that there have been known to be some hurt feelings in this. All right. All right. No, our friend Billy Johnson couldn't join us in person, but I wanted to give him an opportunity to play because he's a good friend of the show and whatnot. And Sorg, I think you'll like this one. Let me make sure I've got his move correct. Yes, I do. Okay. So Billy Johnson's move, and Farnsworth, you are on deck. And Billy Johnson's move is he's getting rid of Ligero. And he is bringing in a friend to some of us, at least, Joaquin Wilde. Perhaps you've heard of him. Reminds me of somebody. Okay. Farnsworth?
Well, that's somewhat problematic, being that my match was going to be we're getting rid of the Iconics versus Tony and Killer.
Okay.
And we're going to have Joaquin Wilde versus Jordan Devlin in a WLC match.
I can't let you do that.
Why can't you? Let me?
Well, for one thing, we can't do stipulations yet. For another thing, Jordan Devlin's already in a match. And for a third thing, now Joaquin Wilde is in a match.
Well, then we're getting rid of then let's just get rid of Swerve and Morrison and Ricochet to make it a Joaquin Wilde versus
I can't let
Devlin
you do
match.
that.
What the hell am I allowed to do then? Jesus Christ!
You're trying to move.
Spent
You can
all of
only
this money to be told no all this time.
I mean,
Take
if
your
you
10
throw
back.
money at the
Take your
podcast,
10
then
back.
maybe.
I think
Well,
not.
Take your
that's for
tenner.
later. That's for
Take
later.
your
already-
tenner
You'll
and
get it, you'll
repeat
get it
after me.
Soiled by this.
Patreon in the Bank is on March 24th, right? Is that when it
I
is?
think that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I will be long dead from the coronavirus by then.
dibs on his move.
Now, come on, Farnsworth. I know you've got a 1B. Come on, help me out.
I'm just happy to hear WLC already being in the conversation.
Alex, I'm going to make you wish.
I
you
don't
were dead.
understand. Also, how if it's out of space jail, how's it not usable? Why was it in space jail? If it's free, but it's still unusable, I don't understand.
It's on space probation.
Can someone get me the lore?
It's on space
The
probation.
lore's on the website, but it's too late for that.
WrestlingMayhemShow.com.
It's on space house arrest.
Okay, we're gonna pull the Ilconics versus Tony and Killer. We're gonna put in. Let's go. Let's go Samoa Joe
Okay.
versus.
Wait,
I'm
wait.
throwing a swerve and not doing the same match I've done every time I've done this.
You've been here before?
I have, and I've always
Yes.
suggested the same match. I want to make sure
Wait,
he's
I have
not
to
on
chime
it.
in for a second.
Why?
Samoa
Samoa
Joe
Joe's
on
is
suspension.
not cleared.
Oh, he's hurt.
No, he also popped for the wellness policy.
Yeah, but he'll be out of that before Mania. He'll be all right. But he's hurt.
Is he hurt?
He is hurt.
Maybe that's why he was
How
popped.
hurt is he?
I'm not sure.
We'll go with he's not so hurt that he can't wrestle.
Hold on a second.
All right, who's the other half of this match? Maybe that'll help sway me.
I was going with I was gonna go with the other half of the Broserweights, Pete Dunne.
Pete Dune.
No, Dunne.
Done? Okay.
That's a good match.
Joe versus Dune. You know what, Mark Farnsworth, you're so generous. And you know what? This stuff cleans itself up.
Almost
after.
as generous as I am humble. So
Wow.
I'll let it slide.
Generosity's rewarded, huh, man?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When's the last time I got a move, man? I'm very generous too.
I keep track of the number of moves, Mike. You're fine.
Well, not.
The one story, unreliable story I find, Joe could miss WrestleMania.
Could.
He was
Could?
injured. He was injured on February 20th on a commercial shoot for
He'd be fine.
his knee.
He'd be
His
fair,
knee.
I could miss WrestleMania too.
Last time.
We all could miss WrestleMania. They could cancel it.
Yes. Oh.
Oh,
They're not canceling it. It's an outdoor arena. They'll be fine.
Yes.
Can't say for the rest of the indie show. So okay, Bradley,
Me?
you're up,
Okay.
and then Alex, you're on deck.
I want to make a point first. Swerve has something in common with me with Scarlett.
What?
At some point, both of them during a match stole my chair.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to point that out just for a moment.
Swerve stole your chair.
Vicious Outcast Wrestling during his entrance. I was standing up and booing him, and he just took my chair and took it into the ring and presented himself. All right. I'll make it real simple. We're taking out Elias versus Nakamura.
Hey!
Oh. I'm sorry, Sorg.
The Podfather is disrespected.
The match.
Sure, you want to get invited back to sit on this couch? Okay, go on.
And the match I want to replace it with, just make it simple, AJ Styles versus Adam Cole.
All right.
Styles?
Not mad. Not that bad.
No, Sorg, it's okay. Be mad.
Let the hate flow. Come on,
I'm
Sorg.
mad. You know
Sorg.
what?
Strike him
Sorg, it's
down.
not healthy to bottle that shit up.
I'm mad at.
Just take it out on Alex.
Alex?
No, I'm feeling good. I got to directly mean mug Bobby Fish last week, so.
You heckled him from off camera.
I did
heard
not
you.
heckle him from off camera. That was somebody else.
Sorg, did you
wanna
ask
take
him
it
how
out
he
on
got out of space?
That was.
It's a valid question.
What?
Did you ask him how he got out of space ship?
No, I did not ask him. I did not. Well, that would have been a. Listen, if I yelled, "How did you get out of space jail?" One, it wouldn't have been the weirdest thing that was yelled all night. I guess. I am.
Florida. That's
It is Florida. And by the way, I apologize. I didn't get to do my NXT MMA last night. AMA.
NXT AMA.
Sorry guys. I
Maybe
fell
you can
asleep.
do your AMA on Talking Mayhem Mania. Coming up next.
Maybe.
Alex.
I don't think-
Alex,
Hello.
it's been a
Hello.
great night so far for you.
OccupyProWrestling.com. Get that T-shirt.
What are we going to do now?
Okay. Trying to think. I had an idea
And then what?
floated out of my head.
Oh, you're supposed to write them down.
I don't have anything to write. All right, hang on. Okay.
Tell Siri to remind you.
Good God, Alex, come on.
Oh,
You've
All
got
right.
he's got a green
Okay,
screen behind him that you could put anything behind you. By the way,
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could.
okay. Quick question. If someone has been taken out of a match, and you weren't the one to take them out of a match, can you then put them into a new match?
Yeah, if they're not on the card right now, you can use them.
All right. Okay, cool. Because there's someone that I really want to see on this card.
Let's go. Come on. Don't be
All
shy.
right.
I
All right.
guarantee Marcus is going to come up with something 10 times crazier than what you've got.
No, my
I
matches
think
are good.
I'm going to
Go ahead,
I'm going to
Alex.
file this under Mason's Revenge. I'm going to be scrapping CM Punk versus Angel Garza.
Oh, man. Well, at least we got him on the
There
card.
goes Punk.
We lost Chicago's vote.
Here we go. Go ahead.
All right, and I'm going to replace him with a dream match of sorts that I started thinking about earlier, and I'm actually kind of glad that he was taken off the match that I originally put him in one earlier. So in its place, we're gonna have Ligero
All right.
God.
Damn Ligero.
versus the current Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to say that I'm very, very
I gotta
disappointed
tell you,
right now.
There's always like an NXT UK person who just
Yeah.
kind of like will
Yeah.
not go away.
So I'm very,
like-
very disappointed because I really wanted to take CM Punk off the card.
Oh, you wanted to be the one to do it? You could just get rid of him.
Seriously.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help you out with that.
Can I put him in space jail?
No, you
Can I
can't.
frame him so that he goes to space jail?
Maybe we can talk about it. I don't know.
So
I
yeah,
can't
that's
just
my
let
move.
you. I can't let you just do whatever you want, Marcus. We have rules here.
Okay.
The
Marcus,
Lord is
you can
tight.
let Punk know that he's not on this on his wedding day. That's what you can do.
You have no idea how much I wanted to fight CM Punk at that Cubs Pirates wildcard game.
Marcus.
Oh, is this me now?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, you're
Oh,
up.
okay.
And you must use an FCW alum.
All right. So here's my here's question number one.
Okay.
If they are if they're signed to another promotion, can I steal them?
Nope.
What if I paid them $2.50 more?
Nah. Lawyers get involved. It's very messy. We don't want litigation.
All right.
It won't get cleaned up in time for Mania.
Handshake.
All right, that's not gonna help. Can I get rid of that giant clusterfuck scramble match that you guys got going on there?
Which one? The 5-way cruiserweight
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been working on it for a really long time. We thought maybe if we can get it
rid of all of
there,
it.
it might work. No, of
Flush
course you
that
can. You can do
right
whatever you
down
want. I trust your judgment, Marcus.
It's a
You just take your pencil out and you erase it out of
What
existence.
is going on there?
Just a lot of...
started off as a Lucha Underground showcase.
The lore
Okay.
is
All right.
deep.
So there's like a couple matches that I think definitely should go. So I'm leaning a couple ways because like that thing's a clusterfuck and that's not going to be good. I'm also leaning this Becky and Shayna Baszler match because like
Yeah, a little
'cause
too
you're gonna
close to
see it.
real life.
It's
Yeah,
too close to
it
real
gets
life.
a little uncomfortable.
And then
yeah.
you got Dave Bautista, and you're like, Dave, I don't want to see you go out that way. The Triple H match.
Oh, I absolutely want to see
I
him
don't
go
wanna
out
see you
this
go out
way.
that way.
I want this to be his
wanna see him
retirement
go out-
match.
So I'm a little torn on a lot of this. Here's the thing: is I don't want to ruin everyone's good time, so I'm gonna leave.
Someone's good time is getting ruined
I'm
right here
gonna
and
leave.
now.
I'm gonna leave this cruiserweight showcase for you guys to keep adding guys that can't get booked on the regular show, so everyone can have a good time. If I could have one thing hit the lore at the end of the day is I hope this thing gets like 20 people in it by the end.
Yeah.
I really do. That's gonna be awesome. So I'm gonna eliminate Becky and Shayna.
Okay.
Just because it does feel a little too close to real life.
Yeah.
I
It's a little too
appreciate
close to reality.
I appreciate that people were seeing that into the future.
Yeah, yeah.
I was holding on to the hope that Vince would change his mind and
Yeah.
this would be a very novel match.
I think it's going to be a very good match.
That's happened before.
It has happened.
Yeah, I believe Charlotte and Ripley was booked the first week by Billy. So, yeah.
So I got to go with an FCW alum, which is actually, like, I looked through the list, not that hard.
They got some good guys.
Yeah.
Some good underused guys.
So this is a match that I think would be very, very interesting and an interesting mix of athleticism, speed, size, comedy, and everything. I think it's a 5-tool match. So I would like to use my FCW pick as one Big E Langston. And I would like to put him against Keith Lee.
Just straight up. All right. All right. I thought we were going to get some New Day, but that works for me too. All right.
Oh, can we get? Can
know,
can that be a 5-count match when we get the stipulations? By the way.
I totally thought you were going to book Leake.
What?
That's Roman Reigns
Oh.
Leaki. Yeah.
from FCW. Leake.
Yeah. I was close. Reigns. If my backup was going to be Cesaro, if Keith or someone gotten pulled, Cesaro was going to be my backup in that situation.
Always a
Antonio
good 1B is your Cesaro.
Antonio Cesaro.
Yes, Antonio says. I thought of Cesaro and Lesnar. I was like, man, that'd be this guy.
I've tried to book Cesaro versus Lesnar.
I think I saw it once before. Was that
at
already
least
on the card?
3 times.
At
At least 3 times.
I don't think Lesnar's gotten on here yet this
No,
year.
but I know in the
Keith
past,
Lee has
I've
been.
tried.
We've been working on matches for Keith Lee.
Yeah, I know. I've seen
Very,
Keith Lee.
very determinedly
Yeah.
throughout the process. All right, let's recap the card. Good job, Marcus. I knew you'd do a great job.
Yeah.
I just had a feeling you had a talent for this. I can't do this without the damn microphone. Sorg, what the hell is going on? Usually I can not have this blocked. It's your fault, isn't it?
It's a little different setup. Sorry about that.
No, you're
There you
right.
go. Yeah,
It's okay.
let your
All right, here we
Vanna
go,
White
here we
over
go.
there do something.
He's not my he's far. Okay, here we go. All right, Joaquin Wilde versus Isaiah Swerve. Scott versus Jordan Devlin versus John Morrison versus Ricochet. Samoa Joe maybe versus Pete Dunne. It'll work out. Don't worry. Finn Balor versus Aleister Black. Big E versus Keith Lee.
Oh, Big E Langston.
That rhymes.
I'm sorry, Big E Langston.
Yeah, Big E Langston.
You're always good with intricacies. Those two names rhyme.
Langston.
You're always good with those things.
But this
need 5.
FCW.
Okay, there you go. All right. Ligero versus Sami Zayn. Reverend Devon versus. And let me start out. Let me restate. I just like Reverend Devon and Deacon Batista versus Paul London and the Brian Kendrick.
Matt,
AJ Styles versus Adam Cole. And finally, Walter, all caps, versus Drew McIntyre.
Matt, can I please get a move next week? I have something I've been wanting to do with Deacon Batista and Reverend Devon. I have the best idea.
I got a good feeling for next week, Mike. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for playing. Thanks.
All right. On that note, guys, what did you learn, and girl, what did you learn from wrestling this week? Who wants to go first?
I learned that everybody's got a price for the $10 man.
Oh, Bradley?
Last time I was here, it was sentimental, and I guess this time it's going to be a little sentimental because I had a rough 4 weeks. That Ryse show I was at, I hadn't been to a show since the Ryse show before that. My grandmother passed away. We went to her funeral, driving from Wheeling to Charleston and back the same day. One weekend, my back went out. The other weekend, I had a stomach virus and lost like 5 pounds in one night. And what I learned, and what I learned over and over, is wrestling always makes everything better. And it's great to. I was glad that my event coming back was Ryse, and everyone there specifically. I mean, there are a couple places I always get this, but Ryse specifically, everyone there was just so friendly and so nice to be there. So that's what I relearned. Let's say that whatever problems I have, wrestling makes everything better.
Awesome, Marcus.
Oh, I gotta follow that.
Yeah, you gotta follow that up.
Try going with a butt joke.
Wow. Wow.
Come on, Mr. Writer.
So I talked about this, and I'll play off Bradley's a little bit. I made a Facebook post I think last week or something like that about wrestling being the perfect in-moment entertainment. And it reminds me every time I go to a show or I hang out at a show or anything like that, when you watch a wrestling match, you're watching two people do something that has never been done before. It'll never be done again. And in that moment, it is a perfect piece of art that disappears into the ether. And there's nothing like seeing it live. I said this before, I got to see Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25 live. I was in the crowd, and I have never watched that match back on tape because it was perfect in the moment, and it'll always be perfect in my brain, and I don't ever need to see it again. And wrestling, when it's at its best, can give you that feeling, and the fact that I can help get that feeling out to people is incredibly rewarding. And we've seen the hard work in this area pay off, where it's starting to really come around, and everyone, I think, is starting to fire on all cylinders and do that across the board.
Excellent. Matt Carlins.
I gotta follow that.
Try going with a butt joke.
Can you lend me one? I learned that Mayhem Mania only goes moderately better whenever I'm actually here as opposed to when I'm not.
Oh, good. There's more lore standards.
A lot of lore.
Make a tome.
There you go. We'll make like the WWE rule
wait
book
until
where
we
you're
crunch.
drawing all of it and crossing things out, and there's commentary by Mad Mike.
I need it calligraphied in a giant tome that we can open it up and make it work. An illuminated manuscript.
There you go.
Will you accept an Excel spreadsheet?
Close enough.
All right.
That's illuminated. Tina, what'd you learn?
I just learned how, I guess, speaking to how you guys were talking about different wrestling in the area, how it can just transcend from one end of the country to the other. For example, Sean Phoenix came out here, and then actually, if memory serves me correctly, one of our Pacific Northwest talents actually also wrestled for Ryse this past weekend.
Yeah, Alan Jepson just came in from originally from Vancouver, but was making his living now in Seattle. Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah,
Nice.
I thought that.
Oh no,
I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool that you Midwest, East Coast Midwest guys get to see some of the talent that's out here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, we absolutely would love to get Alan back. He was a fantastic guy.
And of course, you booked the baseball guy. Of course, you, who I often see with an Expos hat on.
Yeah, I went Timberwolves this time, so we're going NBA.
Yeah.
No, Alan was really, really great. He's friends with Sean. Sean was like, I need a rebound match, and I know a guy. would you be interested in bringing him in? I said, send me some stuff, and he was fantastic, great in the locker room, great to be around. We don't get to see a lot of Pacific Northwest wrestling. Even like I go into I have IW.TV right now, and there's not even a lot coming through from Seattle in that area. So it's good to see it.
So to kind of catch you up on that, Defy has their own network on Defy on Demand.
Okay.
321 Battle is one of the prominent promotions that Alan wrestles for. That's usually on Twitch. So those, and then Without a Cause up in Everett, that's north of Seattle. They're the only promotion that's on IWTV.
Okay. Yeah, I would. IWTV has been a godsend for that. Like, hey, would you like? I've never heard of this guy, and it's like, what can I find real quick?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
what can I find real quick? But it's really crazy at how much indie wrestling spreads so fast.
Yes.
It's crazy that guys are like flying all over the
Like
country.
a coronavirus.
Can
Sorry.
you not speak about the
Sorry.
coronavirus?
I'm so
We
sorry.
said we weren't going to do
I'm
any
so
jokes.
sorry.
By the way, we didn't ban handshakes for the night, but we encouraged people not to handshake for the night, and we had a whole like please wash your hands memo and stuff like
Yeah,
that. It was
yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, so the event that I worked in Florida this weekend,
trying.
there's a bunch of college
Trying.
kids. It's like, yeah, wash your hands. kids.
It's trying.
Yeah. So, Alex, what'd you learn?
I learned that Sami Zayn is a man of his word, and in the process is apparently taking Paul Heyman's gimmick of giving spoilers on the show.
There you
Because
go.
he did promise
He did.
that he would win the Intercontinental Championship at Elimination Chamber.
Well, that's not covered on Friday night, so I think he's clear, right? So, all right. What about you, Mike?
I learned that we might be getting a Riot Squad triple threat match at WrestleMania, and I'm all for that.
Nice. Oh, I learned that I learned a couple things from my trip to Florida. First of all, that the Extreme Midget Wrestling troupe apparently is everywhere I am, and I still don't think I've seen this one in particular, because they were in Orlando again, and I know they were in Bakersfield when I was in California, and just like, yeah, I'm still not gonna. And then they're in town when I'm busy. So, and I also learned. People in Orlando in line for NXT are not excited about going to WrestleMania. There was a fellow from K5, the EC3's like online show that he's doing, and there was I don't know if you've seen the it was like Miracle City Mania or something like that. I saw a flyer going around on Facebook today, and I recognized that this guy was handing out. He's like, "Hey, anybody going to Mania weekend?" And then everybody's like, "No." Nope, we're going to $10 wrestling that's on USA Network. So, and also, not even trying. So legitimately, I'm like, oh, I'm going to wear my good guy shirt to this. Maybe somebody will ask about it or something. Maybe I'll get in a shot or something. And I was sat there in the middle. It was they take you in and they're like packing you in so it looks good on TV, right? And like you're the first like so many in. I was like so far in line. I'm like, oh, I'll never get anything. And that's just where we ended up. And then from Mike, it sounded like I was in like every shot.
Sorg, you were in every shot. Trust me, you were.
Yeah.
I watched NXT very closely for reasons.
Yeah.
You were in every shot except for the steel cage because it's hard to see anything.
It's hard to
in
see
NXT.
anything. Yeah, exactly. Also, here's the other thing I learned. Drake. So they don't tell you. So the cage, they're obviously that's a small studio. They're not they are putting the cage up. And I was like, holy crap, they have to do this twice tonight, right? And in a live television commercial break. Well, not when they played like the Johnny Gargano interview
Video
and stuff.
packages and stuff
So Drake has to Undertaker walk the entire cage as they put it together. And it was kind of fun to watch, like just Drake, just like Undertaker walking
It's an
all the way
8-panel
around.
cage too, not 4-panel.
No, not an 8-panel. Wait,
Yeah, 8-panel.
3 on each side.
Oh, they did.
It was 3 on each
They
side.
had 12.
It was a 12-panel.
Wow.
So yeah, no, it was.
I thought it was an 8-panel.
No,
that's crazy.
It was 3 on each side. It was a 12-panel. So it was.
That's so tough to do.
It was a lot to do.
Yeah.
So it was all the refs.
Lots of flashbacks to your favorite independent wrestling show, setting up their steel cage.
Just ratchet strapping it. And you're like,
there's a lot of ratchet
taping it
strapping.
together
There
and
is, but it's still like I still like the old IWC cage on the ring. Still scared the crap out of me. Like as a fan and as
scares
a
the
ringside.
crap out of me.
You're nowhere near it. He scares the crap out of you.
Here's the secret of it. If Keith Hott's setting it up, it's fine.
What?
There we go. If Keith Hott's out there setting it up, you're fine.
What was that?
Keith Hott helps out. He'll help out put the cage up.
Keith Hott. I don't know why I was thinking Keith Lee in my head.
No, Keith Hott.
Okay, Keith
Yeah.
Hott.
If Keith Hott's out there helping set up the cage, it's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, there was a time where there was an actual like engineer helping with the cage.
No, Keith Hott.
Keith Hott. That's your guy.
I have complete confidence in Keith Hott.
Huh.
And everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't blame you on that one.
No.
Keith Hott's a hell of a guy.
He's got an eye for it.
That's what I learned from wrestling right there. It's Keith Hott's cage
If
ability.
I got shot and you need to get the bullet out, get Keith. I trust Keith.
All right. All right.
If you don't need to get the bullet out, still get Keith.
Yeah, while you're at it.
Just for emotional support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good hugger.
It's exactly. Real quick. So Ryse, you got a lot of stuff going on. Show in 2 weeks again.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
We just
you
don't stop
guys.
rolling, dude.
No.
We have lessons from the chat room.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Hold that plug for a second.
Woof.
We got the chat room here. We got lessons, and they have not loaded on me. Mike, can you get those until before I?
No problem. I got it.
Okay.
Let's see. Dave Podner learned that booking someone as a strong, kick-ass woman is the correct idea. Don't mess up Shayna, Vince.
Mm-hmm.
Ty Cross learned that there are snakes in the grass.
What?
I get that joke.
Well, he's talking about Marcus trying to get some of those wrestlers that are on the Mayhem
trying to-
Mania
I'm trying to sneak
and
him.
get him into Rise.
I'm going to sneak some of those guys
that's
in
what
there.
that's what he's talking about.
I'm gonna sneak Keith Lee into Rise.
See,
I think he needs a change of pace.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And Riz learned I learned Crowbar, famous for being friends, quote unquote question mark, with David Flair in WCW, wants you to know he won't take a dick flip. Parentheses until next year when he gets booked for Joey Janela's spring break.
Mm-hmm.
Good for Crowbar.
Yeah, and it's actually the most people I've seen against the Crowbar since Jason Todd came back.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Crowbar had some post out there that was like putting down the character folks
Yes.
like Danhausen and Warhorse and everything.
Look, respect Crowbar.
Yeah, because
His wars with the wall are legendary.
he said I think he said specifically he would never take anyone, like he would never sell anyone thrusting their dick in his face. And I'm like, yeah, no one's ever gotten really good in wrestling by thrusting their dick forward and backwards. And then I posted a gif of Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Well, that was his pubic bone. He kept pulling his tights down to his pubic bone. That's a Bret Hart joke for you. Here's the thing. I don't think I would take a dick flip from anyone except Joey Ryan.
Maybe Keith.
Because he's the best in the
Well,
business.
Keith Hott.
Speaking of a place that may or may not have a dick flip, when's the next Rise show?
We are back in Baldwin on March 21st. We got matches announced from there.
If you're in Pittsburgh, it is like
It's very close to
right
Pittsburgh.
down 51, like closer, surprisingly close.
Yeah, it's right by a little pizza place called Sincere's Pizza. Like if you're looking for it, like it's this old gym. I think it's I can't remember the address. Like 2801 Cluster Ave, I think is the name of it.
Either way, go to RiseWrestling.com for that info.
RiseWrestling.com. You can actually pre-buy tickets at RiseWrestling.com right now. If you pre-buy your ticket on the website, floor seats are normally $20. You get a discount of $5 off, so they're $15 for floor seating. If you buy on the website pre-buy. If you buy them at the door, they will be $20. So it's always great to pre-buy. We're giving you a discount. Go do it. We got MV Young. We got PB Smooth. Tony Johnson against Calvin Couture in a lumberjack match.
And that is MV versus PB,
Yeah,
right?
MV Young versus PB Smooth. Trey Lamar versus Shirley Doe is on that show. Some really interesting mixes of styles and stuff like that.
Is there a Troy Lords match on that?
Troy
show?
Lords against the Honey Badger.
By the way, Troy Lords and Lee Moriarty from this past week was tremendous.
Yeah. Troy's going to be on that show against the Badger. I'm trying to think what else is on the show.
I think the Rev is on this show.
Yeah, it's the Rev, Keith Hott, Jordan Styles, and Sean Phoenix in a four-way that may be a fatal four-way or an elimination four-way. You don't know.
Okay.
You won't know until the ring announcer tells you what the
Okay.
rules are.
Okay.
Follow the lore. So
Wait, you're actually going to try this bold new concept where you tell the fans the rules of the match before it starts?
you got it. Yeah, so no, Baldwin's a really interesting note.
Just as long as we fill the
I'm
announcers
just
in.
saying, I've been to matches where they don't do that, and it doesn't go very well.
When the first guy gets pinned and then the bell doesn't ring, and people are like, what is going on?
Go ahead and count them.
Yeah.
I can't count. We're in apocalypse rules. What does that mean? I won't say what organization or which wrestler / referee had that discussion, but...
No, we're gonna explain some of the rules to you. But Baldwin's a new show. This is only the second time we've been there. We did really, really well the first time, so we're hoping to make Baldwin a regular stomping ground for us, and to get people out there. It seems like the south of Pittsburgh was really interested in seeing some wrestling that they don't have to travel for and can just like roll out of their homes and check it out.
Yeah.
So Baldwin on 3/21. We are back at the Stronghold in April on April 25th. Tickets will be normal tickets for that. Go to our website for more info. Facebook, Ryse Wrestling. Twitter, at @Ryse_Wrestling. Instagram as well, at @Ryse_Wrestling. You can find all of our information on there. You'll see ticket links in the bios. You'll see match graphics should already be tagged and up there and all that stuff.
Fantastic. And of course, keep an eye on PittsburghWrestling.com. We'll have all the updates. I know I have a lot of updating I need to do because I just found out some of those dates. So keep an eye on that. We'll have announcements. A lot of great wrestling happening in Pittsburgh. A lot from Ryse. Before we go, real quick, I know because this show needs one more thing. I wanted to give a shout out Mayhem Universe, a good friend of us. Everybody knows Dutter's out there. Maybe because she put her butt on the window several times. But she had an announcement this past week, and I just wanted to ask the Mayhem Universe to kind of give out some good vibes for her. If you go over to her Instagram, she has an announcement. That's Kate Marie PGH on Instagram. She just had an announcement this past week about her breast cancer diagnosis, and by the way, and in the wonderful Dutter's way, with a fantastic photo shoot along with it.
Dutter's channeled Rhea Ripley. So
Oh my God, yes. Well, actually,
fucking twisted.
It was
Dutter's
kind of
channeled Rhea Ripley. It's great.
It was kind of funny because the next day, I believe Missy shared a show poster where like who put Katie on a poster, and I think it was Serena Deeb. So it's just like, and it literally took me a minute to realize that wasn't her. But no, she is going through chemo right now. Was diagnosed back on Christmas Eve actually, and has been contending with this for a while. But the prognosis is good. It's caught in a very fortunate time, and of course, if you want to see the details on that, you can go. Please check out the Instagram and send her some good vibes over there from the Mayhem Universe. So thank you to everybody that has been reaching out to her, and she's doing great. Doing great. You know, as great as you can going through chemo right now. So, and you can follow that for updates about that as well. So, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you Farnsworth, Bradley, Mayhem, Mainstream Matt for contending with all this madness, and still coming back week to week. I'm worried that he's gonna just call in out.
That was last week.
That was last week. He needed the recovery. It was the bye week that he gets.
Poodle LaRusso.
Yeah. Ooh, thanks Alex. Thanks Tina. Mad Mike 483 on the Twitter.
YouTube.com/Poppy.
Thank you. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you, producer Missy. Mayhem out.
Thank you, Missy.
You brought us Corona.
Hi, Corona.
There. That's good there. All right. Thank you, streamers. We are super late. You all need to go to bed. And we need to do Talking Mayhem Mania, apparently.
Oh, do we ever?
Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time.